Hello, everybody, and welcome. Here we are again. You missed me yet? I missed all you guys. We got Miller Time Gaming up in the Facebook chat with the big old yo. What is up, my dude? We got Bill Kelshaw also coming in with the like. How's everybody doing tonight? So, we got more action for you. I haven't lost my voice yet, so we're going to belt out some more absolutely epic comms for some absolutely epic racing by our Flat Out Racing North American drivers. We don't have just one race for you tonight. We don't have just two races for you tonight. We have a trifecta here for you guys and gals watching here this evening. We are going to be bopping and popping out Pro-Am Division Lobby 2, Pro-Am Division Lobby 1, and final but not least, the Pro Division Lobby. So, settle in, ladies and gentlemen. Tired, cold, and stressed. Hey, brother, just hang in there, dude, man. You'll get through it, my dude. You'll get through it. Have faith, my guy. Have faith. Have faith. You just keep cranking out that good content. You keep up them good vibes, and things will work out for you, my dude. Have faith, my guy. Have faith. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, Flat Out Racing North America, Season 2, Round 1. So, Pro-Am 1, and the Pro drivers all running on same lobby settings. 3 times tires, 4 times fuel, which means these drivers need to worry quite a bit more than the Am division on Saturday to watch their tire wear, of course, their fuel consumption. Now, our Pro-Am drivers here in our 2 lobby and our 1 lobby are driving the Subaru BRZ GT300i GT3 race car. Both lobbies are driving the same car to keep it right and tight, even, square, right through all 30 drivers. We have 13 drivers on track for our Pro-Am 2 lobby here this evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these were ran last evening. I just can't, unfortunately, be in 3 places at one time, so we weren't able to do these live. But we have all the action for you here from all 3 lobbies. So, let's go over the driver's list here before we flip you over to the live screen. We'll talk a little bit about the track, and we'll kick Pro-Am 2 lobby off. Oh yeah, back to 100% tomorrow. Glad to hear it, my dude. Glad to hear it. We have Sweaty Palms right at the top there. We have Raul Jimenez. We have Corey GT35. We have Andres Mao. We have Suderman. We have Miguel RM. We have Seaberry People. We have Alex F, Trone Colby, Rev Prozac, Bob Phoenix, Minidan 28, and Juan Manuel in this lineup. So, ladies and gentlemen, who's your favorite driver here tonight? With that being said, welcome everybody on Facebook and YouTube. And hopefully, welcome on the Flat Out Racing North America YouTube and Apex Sim Racing YouTube as well. We're hoping this is going to work tonight. We're going to see. But nonetheless, we're here at GT45 Gaming Live, so everybody at least will not miss the action. And while we're thinking of it, we're actually going to record this video. Fantastic. So, Watkins Glen, all 5 divisions obviously running the same track each week. We have 10 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. 2 of those rounds will end up being drop rounds at the end of the season. So, every driver has the ability to have a bad day. Maybe he can't make a race due to other obligations, whatever the case may be. Or, yeah, nonetheless, whatever the case may be, if the drivers don't make the racetrack, they have 2 opportunities just to squash that race and be done with it and move on to the next one. So that helps when you're a competitor on track, knowing that you can have a bad day. Maybe your car mechanically fails or something crazy like that. You know, it's okay. You can still rebound back from it in the fight, in the battle, in the standings. So that's fantastic here. And I suspect if these 3 lobbies are anything like the last 2 lobbies we watched over the weekend, there's going to be some crazy races. So, I mean, button down the hatches, folks. I think we're about to get busy here. Get it done, Sweaty Palm, says Bill. Hey, there we go. All right, so Watkins Glen, ladies and gentlemen, iconic racetrack, New York State, United States of America, and a fun little racetrack. So right at the bottom of the screen, you can see a little line. That is the start-finish line moving towards, of course, our driver's lineup. They have the 90, and that is turn 1. Very hard right-hand 90-degree corner. From there, we come up the S's. It's a series of uphill S's into a very long straightaway. From there, we come into the famous bus stop, high-speed chicane, double chicane, From there, we come into the outer loop and through the carousel. Now, the carousel is compromised at two corners. It's the straightaway after the outer loop, and of course the corner leading into the boot section. We start the boot section with the laces. We come around the toe, and then we're at the bottom of the boot, the sole, or whatever you want to call it, coming around the heel, and then from there we come back up to the top and around, and that's a lap around Watkins Glen. Now, we've seen the AM divisions dropping 45s in the softs. We've seen the elite divisions dropping 42s on the softs. So what are we going to see? Our Pro-Am division dropping here for fast lap times. I suspect we're going to see it somewhere in between the 44 and 45.5 mark. Just an educated guess. Strategies, much like the last two races we saw, again, two different strategies available here. Now, for this particular car in this racetrack, again, still two viable strategies. There's two strong strategies. Of course, the first one is going to be the one stop. Now, with that being said, in the BRZ, fuel saving in the BRZ loses you a pretty large amount of time. So, one stop potentially is not going to be the strongest strategy here tonight. The two stop, where you take a longer medium tire stint and then you go for two shorter soft tire stints with minimal fuel to allow you to go faster on those soft tires, could provide to be the key to the drivers winning these BRZ races here at Watkins Glen today. Now, Pro-Am 1 is going to be much of the exact same thing. They're driving the exact same car. The time split between the 30 drivers in Pro-Am 1 all the way through Pro-Am 2 is 1.2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So 30 drivers separated by only 1.2 seconds. This is going to be some close racing. So, without further ado, let's flip it over to the screen here. You can see we got our beautiful little banner up there. And we're going to kick it, but we're going to go through the lineup. So these drivers had a 10-minute qualifier, and a tire was allowed to be used. And of course, they're allowed to switch tires before the host started the race here. So the drivers have selected their starting tires. They're lined up on the grid in the order that they qualified. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we don't get to show you the qualifying when we do it this way, but we still at least get to go through the order. So on pole position here tonight is THG's Corey GT35. So bonus point for Corey before this race even starts. Always a great start to a race. We got Sweaty Palms sitting in second place. We have Phoenix sitting in third. We have C. Turner in fourth. We have Miguel Ramirez in fifth. We have C. Barry in sixth. We have Trone Kobe here in seventh. We have Painani. There's always one difficult name in every lineup. In his place, we have Mini Dan in ninth. We have Mao in 10th, so that's Andres Mao. We have JM here in 11th. We're going to call this RJ. And, of course, Mr. Fuentes here in 13th place to round out our field today. So, I mean, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, what do we say here? Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go racing. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And right to our leader here. So here we go, race start. Very early late here for these guys, and it looks like the Corey gets a good start here, but look at these drivers. Very equal start, 3 wide in the backfield here as we're coming barreling down into the 90 here. Let's get our eyes through the field. We got one driver going a little bit wide there. You can see him just hanging out, making sure it's safe to get back on the racetrack. So good racetrack awareness here from all the drivers on track here in the Pro-Am 2 lobby. Let me know how the car sound is tonight, please, ladies and gentlemen. RJ in 9th, JM in 10th, Painani dropping down to 11th, Mao in 12th, Fuentes just leading the back of the pack here. Now these two drivers are probably being the smartest out of everybody. They're just laying back, letting this field kind of sort themselves out early on in the race. But the Corey with a great race start here. Sounded like we had a little bit of complication by one of these drivers going into the bus stop. Sweaty Palms in 2nd, Phoenix in 3rd. We've got Turner here in 4th. We've got Barry in 5th. We've got Mini Dan in 6th. We've got Miguel Ramirez here in 7th place. Trone Kobe in 8th. We've got RJ right behind him with a battle here with JM. No, he's going to pull back in front. JM's just going to tuck back in the lineup here. So Painani in 11th being challenged by Mao. Is he going to get the job done coming through the heel of the boot here? Sorry, the toe of the boot, my bad. No, he's going to stay in 11th place. Mao staying in 12th, but now Fuentes right on the backside of Mao. Let's see what happens here as we come through the heel. Not going to make anything happen here. Showing some great patience, but Corey very early on in the lead here at the end of lap 1, showing very good early pace here in the race. So, going to be interesting to see how all the strategies settle out here for all our drivers tonight. Michael Tahale Sr. coming in with that thumbs up. Much love, my guy. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Sweaty Palms in second, and you can see these guys in behind. You can see them trying to break the toe from the next driver, and we got a move being handed out here. Phoenix trying to get the job done. No, my bad. Barry trying to get the job done here. He's going to defend against Minidan. Minidan's going to stay in 4th place. Miguel Ramirez now up to 5th with Phoenix chasing. Trone Colby starting to make some moves here as well now, and he is up into P6. So Trone Colby making his way up the field here. Great job by Trone Colby. Phoenix in 7th place. We got RJ here in 8th, JM in 9th, and we're just trying to not miss anything. They're so close together here. We're just trying to keep up with the action on the racetrack here. Painani still in, now up into 10th. Mao down into 11th. We got Fuentes now up into 12th. What happened to Turner? Turner has obviously had gotten into an issue or some sort of incident here. He's a little bit behind the pack here now in 13th place. Early on in the race, don't need to panic yet, but the Corey is gone. He is off like a rocket ship here very early on in the race. 1:49.9 so far, fastest lap on track. We're going to see that time obviously come down as things continue to move forward. Michael coming in with that share as well. Much love, brother. We appreciate that support. Sweaty Palms here in 2nd place as well. Barry in 3rd. So these top 3 haven't changed yet, but Barry has been challenged a couple of times here now by Minidan. Minidan's just not able to quite get the job done here. So Barry in 4th. We got Minidan in 3rd. Minidan in 4th, and he's being challenged by Miguel Ramirez. So we're going to change the amount of tire squeal you guys are hearing here after this race here. I do apologize. Miguel Ramirez here in P5. We've got Trone Colby in 6th. We've got Phoenix here in P7. We've got RJ in P8. JM in 9th. Painani again still in 10th. We got Mao in 11th. We got Fuentes in 12th, being challenged by... Alright, so Fuentes with a great move coming into the 90. Turn 1 there, coming up the front straightaway in some slipstream. And he's going to go ahead and move up into P11 here. We got Mao in 12th and we got Turner in 13th. So, the Corey, GT45 that is absolutely ripping right now. He's just coming flying through that bus stop, a 144.943. So, really good lap time here by the Corey. We've got Sweaty Palms here in 2nd place, and he is chasing. And I'm going to say there's a good solid 5-second gap here between this driver and our lead driver, the Corey. Minidan here in now is in 3rd place. Of course, when we're not there, he finally gets the job done. So he's finally getting the move around C. Barry here, and really great job by him. Ooh, and Barry took a little bit of a look at the up on the inside there, but realized he didn't have the moves available to him there and just backing out. So great recognition there by that driver. Ramirez here in 5th place. We have Phoenix in 6th. Challenging. He's going to go up the inside. Let's see if he can get the job done here as we're coming around the corner. He is in the lead coming into the corner. Going to get the job done. Phoenix moves up into 5th place. Ramirez down into P6. And now Trone's taking a look here as he's catching up to these guys in the mid-pack. Absolutely tight racing here so far in our Pro-Am 2 lobby, ladies and gentlemen. Great stuff shown by all the drivers on track so far. Moving through our field here, we do have Trone Colby. He's trying to catch up to those 2 guys up in front. Also trying to hold the rest of the pack off in behind him. RJ here chasing him down in 8th place. We got Painani here now, who's moved up another spot into 9th place. So this driver's starting to slowly make his way through the field. JM here in 10th. We got Mr. Fuentes in 11th place. We got Mao in 12th. And Turner here in 13th. And he's slowly starting to gain to that pack again. So again, just got to put your head down in that situation. You just got to put the loud pedal down and try to manage your fuel and your tires the best you can in that situation. And see what you can do. So we'll have to keep our eye on that driver here, Mr. Turner, as we continue through our race here tonight. But Corey is very, very quickly driving away from the front of the pack here. So the big question is, are we seeing a little bit of different tire strategies coming out of these drivers right off the bat here in the race? Sweaty Palms here in 2nd place. He's starting to build a gap on Minidan here now. So he is starting to pull away from that group that is chasing as well. Moving into 3rd place is Minidan. He's very quickly starting to pull a gap on Barry here as we move up the racetrack. Again, we're only on lap 4 here, ladies and gentlemen, so lots of racing left yet. Barry in 4th place, and he's got a nice little tiny gap on the drivers in behind him so far here too. So our top 4 drivers starting to space out just a little bit here. And then we move to this battle in the mid-pack, and look at that, 3 wide as we're coming down into the heel of the boot section here. Ooh, a little bit of contact there, no harm, no foul, both drivers okay. Phoenix taking a look, he's going to hold that spot. Phoenix doing a great job defending against Ramirez there. Ramirez not able to get the job done. RJ in 7th now. Painani back, he's up to P8 now, so another move gained by this driver. We're going to be keeping our eyes on this driver here tonight. JM up into 9th place. Trone Colby must have having a little bit of a mistake here, dropping down into P10, maybe track limit penalty. Again, Watkins Glen is very, very strict on the track limits here, and they hand out penalties very freely, so you got to keep it within the limits here. And we're going to see a move from Fuentes on Trone Colby coming into T1. Just a tiny bit of contact there. And Trone Colby, of course, backing out, realizing that he moved in on the driver. Great move there by Fuentes. Mao in 12th, and now we got Turner coming in making a pit stop, so we're seeing our first driver make a stop here. So maybe a little bit of strategy from this driver here as he's trying to find a way to gain that time that he lost with whatever it was that caused him to fall behind to the back of the pack. But the Corey is absolutely in command here, quarter away through our race so far. It's hard to say what these drivers are on, but the way the Corey is pushing, it could potentially look like he's just going to try and full send the whole race, so we might see a 2-stop out of this driver today. Sweaty Palms, he's on a good pace too here as well. Not exactly sure what to think about how this driver's strategy is here quite yet. The gap between him and the first place driver is quite significant. Mini Dan 28 here, he's starting to slowly catch up to Sweaty Palms here a little bit as well, but he's bringing Barry with him. Barry is starting to put the pedal down, and he's starting to gain that time back up on that 3rd place driver, who, of course, he had a pretty good battle with early on in the race. But look at this battle in the mid-pack here as we get to the 5th place driver, Painani. Do we have sound? We do have sound. Okay. Phoenix in 6th place. Like, look at this group of cars right here. 4 or 5-way battle as we're coming into the sweeping left-hander here. Second last corner of the lap, of course, and then we move into the sweeping right-hander, which is the final corner of the lap. Very high-speed corner if you get it right. And you can see these drivers have been practicing very hard for this race. All these drivers in line, getting that corner right, staying nose to tail through there. Not easy to do in these cars. These GT3 cars do suffer from dirty air syndrome when you're driving very close to another car. We see a move trying being made here from Miguel Ramirez on RJ. Miguel dropping a couple of positions since the start of this race here. Maybe strategy for Miguel, maybe not. We'll have to see. JM here in 8th place, now starting to close in on Miguel. Starting to pull away from Miguel here as we see Miguel drop down into P9 here now. Mao in 10th place, just trying to catch up a little bit here with Trone Colby now down into 11th. He's just a little bit of the pace here. And Fuentes right on his back door. And then, of course, Turner, who we've seen made a pit stop now in some clean air. Maybe a part of the plan here. Just get that car breathing nice, good, fresh, clean air. It can react the way he expects it to react into every single corner. And just try to absolutely make up as much time as he can before these drivers are up to make their pit stops. The Corey about 5.5 to 6 seconds ahead here now at this point. Probably about a second faster than the field ahead of him here right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how, again, the pit strategies play out here for these drivers. We're just heading into lap 7 here as our leader comes around the racetrack. And we're just going to see what this time is here. It looked pretty good. 145 flat here from the Corey. So we're on board with Sweaty Palms here. And let's see what his time is as he comes over the line here as well. And you can see about a second off the pace. It was about a 146.1. And Mini Dan coming across here in 3rd place with Barry in 4th. Let's get back to this mid-pack here. It seems like the mid-pack has been where all the battling's been happening here so far early on in the season throughout all the divisions. So Painani now up into 5th place. So he has made some big moves. He started at the latter half of the grid here. Like when I say the latter half, like the latter half of the grid. And he has made up a ton of positions here. Now leading this mid-pack up to the S's. We have Phoenix here in 6th place, and our camera crew having a little bit of a minor malfunction there apparently. chasing down Painani here right now, but Painani seems to be on some incredible paces. He's trying to work his way through the field, but now he's got his work cut out for him as Barry is a little bit ahead of this group here. RJ here coming around as well, still doing a great job here in 7th place, and we got, looks like a little bit of change of position back there. We have Ramirez now moving up into P8 through the bus stop there, getting ahead of JM, so great move by Ramirez there, going through that bus stop, but JM looking to respond as we're coming through the carousel here. Not able to respond one bit, but that's all right. Lots of racing left. Mao here now up into 10th with Tro and Colby chasing. Fuentes just losing a little bit off of Tro and Colby since the last time we're through our field here. And Turner is, again, just open, clean air. Had to change the strategy up maybe slightly due to racing. Ian Travers coming in with that share as well. Kafan coming in with the thumbs up. Much love, everybody. Hope everybody's doing fantastic here this evening. Good morning to those of us who are in Australia as well, and very, very early morning to our friends across the pond there. So, the Corey GT35 here, representing Canada. We haven't gone through this yet. Sweaty Palms making a pit stop, so looking like a 2-stop strategy here from Sweaty Palms as well, representing North America, United States of North America. We got Mini Dan here, United Kingdom driver. Barry also representing the United States. We have Painani here also representing the United States. Phoenix representing the United States as well. Our driver RJ here coming all the way from south of the border down in Mexico. And JM as well, a fellow countryman here on track. Ramirez representing, of course, United States of America. Mal representing United States of America. Tro and Colby also representing USA. Sweaty Palms representing USA, Fuentes representing USA, and Turner representing USA. So a very, very heavy field of United States drivers here in Pro-Am division, Pro-Am Lobby 2 division, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get it right yet this year. So Mini Dan now in 2nd place, but holding a 1-second penalty. That is not ideal for Mini Dan, as he has Barry all over him here now. So this is good for Barry. He can just sit up nice and close as we come up through the heel here. Sorry, through the toe. I keep getting that wrong. And now we're just running up the sole here. So you can see Mini Dan shaving that penalty on the racing line. Not ideal, thankfully, for ghosting. Otherwise, he could have created an incident there. So just a little bit of pressure, maybe a little bit of nerves for getting that penalty should be served off the racing line, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all right. No harm, no foul there. Mini down here now in 3rd place. Painani here in 4th. We have Phoenix here in 5th place, looking very solid. So Painani is now trying to get into the podium positions here. JM in 6th. Miguel Ramirez now up into 7th place. RJ in 8th. Mao here in 9th place, followed by Tro and Colby in 10th. Sweaty Palms in 11th, who we've seen just make a pit stop. We got Turner here in 12th, and Fuentes as well here with a 3-second penalty. So that means that he's had a pit lane infraction, so he has made a pit stop, and that is going to be a tough penalty for him to serve here now in last place. So Mini Dan now coming in for a pit stop as well, ladies and gentlemen. So there we go. All right, we're seeing, looks like lots of 2-stop strategies here, but at different times on the racetrack, so this is going to be interesting. I did say G, I'm sorry if it sounded like E, my apologies. my apologies, guys. So Corey, GT35, looking very, very solid here. He has got a solid lead, 10 plus seconds here on our 2nd place driver, Barry, who is giving it everything he's got here to try and shed that time down. Overcut, undercut situations here for the top 3 drivers. I guess we'll have to wait to find out. Painani now in that podium position. So, are we seeing some 1-stop strategies here potentially as well? Vic coming in with that thumbs up. What's good, Vic? How are we doing? JM here in 4th place, followed by our 5th place driver, Phoenix. Now, remember, some drivers have made pit stops, so we're going to see these guys shift around here for a little bit over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 laps. Mao here in 6th place. RJ in 7th, our leader now into pit lane. We have Tro and Colby now all the way up into 8th, with guys now making the rounds of pit stops. Miguel Ramirez here in 9th. Sweaty Palm still hanging out back here in 10th place. Mini Dan just behind in 11th. Turner now up into 12th. Fuentes in 13th. So, our leader, the Corey, in for his first stop of the race here again, looking like a 2-stop strategy based off the lap the driver has pit. Barry's just coming around turn 1 here right now, so let's see if he gets out in front of Corey, and he is going to get out in front of Corey. Painani also coming around that same corner. Is he going to get out in front as well? It does appear so. JM now coming around turn 1. He's going to grab that position on the Corey as well, followed by Phoenix and Mao. We got battle here between Mao and the Corey, as that's where the Corey finally settles into here as he comes out of pit lane. Didn't even show him coming out of pit lane there. That's kind of crazy. So RJ in 6th, and the Corey falling into the lineup here in 7th, but he is right on the backside of RJ C76. Tron Colby just in behind the race leader before he pit. Miguel Ramirez here in 9th. We got Sweaty Palms in 10th. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Pardon me, folks. Mini Dan here in 11th. Turner in 12th. And Mr. Fuentes in 13th place. So, when is Barry, Painani, JM, and the rest of the field here going to pit? Is the bigger question. Are we going to see some one-stop strategies? We got Joe up in the house coming in with that thumbs up as well. How you doing, my guy? Mr. Joe Mercier, legend, Mr. Admin. He is the right-hand man here at GT45 Gaming. Definitely appreciate everything that guy does to help keep everything moving here efficiently. Painani here in 2nd place, and can kind of see the leader up ahead there, so he can still see him. He hasn't lost him too much, so it's going to be interesting when these guys do decide to stop. The question is when are these guys going to decide to stop? In my opinion, lap 10, lap 11 is about that commitment line for a two-stop strategy. So if we see these guys go past that, we're going to see a potential one-stop, but we have Barry now coming in. So looking like a two-stop strategy here for Barry as well, with JM just coming across the start-finish line. He will grab that position on him. Phoenix will also grab a position on him for sure, followed by Mao, and potentially this big group of 4 cars coming through turn 1 here right now as well, led by RJ. A little bit of a tap there by the Corey to just give him a little bit of a boost up the straight there, get away from the 2 drivers in behind. Interesting play there by the Corey. Smart, definitely smart. So the Corey now up into 6th place with that pit stop. Miguel in 7th. We've got Tron Colby in 8th. Sweaty Palms in 9th. Barry still in pit lane, just coming out now. So 10th place is where Barry will come out here. So it's going to be interesting to see how all these strategies all play out at the end of the race. So far, it looks like most guys are on a 2-stop strategy, but quite a variation of 2-stop strategies here from our Pro-Am 2 guys. So very interesting. Turner in 12th place. Done a good job to grab a position after whatever it was that caused him to fall behind the pack here very early on. And Mr. Fuentes here, who we've seen have that 3-second penalty. That 3-second penalty has most certainly hurt him a little bit here. So we could see him trying to now make up a little bit of that time back. But Painani, now our race leader, he is one of very few drivers left to make a pit stop here so far in the race. We're not quite at that halfway mark quite yet, but we are very, very close, ladies and gentlemen. So far it's been a pretty good race by these guys. They stuck fairly close together for the most part, especially that mid-pack. JM here in 2nd place, and he's starting to get chased down here by Phoenix, but Phoenix does have that half-second track limit penalty here. So looking like some one-stops are definitely going to be happening for some of these drivers here. Mao in 4th place in behind. We got the Corey, who is looks like to be our first driver on the 2-stop, up in 5th place. So when these 4 drivers finally do decide to stop, that will should give him the race lead right back. But he's going to try and get a move done here. So let's stick with this little battle here and jump on board. As you can see here, the Corey just trying to get ahead now. We're coming into... Oh, yes, that's right. We're coming into the bus stop. Are we going to go side by side through this bus stop, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. No, the Corey GT35 taking that position away from Mao. Mao backing out of that two-way battle through the bus stop. Probably a smart call. We got one driver going really wide there. We're not sure who that is. That might have been Mao getting really wide going out into the outer loop there. So something happening there. Now he's going to have some dirty tires. That is going to be, he's going to have to watch that. Miguel Ramirez here in 5th place. He's starting to chase that 4th place driver down. RJ here in 6th, and he has Tron Kobe all over the back end of his car here. So let's stick with these 2 drivers here to see if Tron Kobe is going to try and get a move done on RJ76 here. Drone doesn't have anything to really worry about right behind him right currently at the moment, so he can focus on this battle at hand here. And you can see Trone got a really good run on him through the corner there on the exit. So we're going to come around this left-hander. It'll be another left-hander, and Trone looking for an undercut. No, it is cut off there by RJ. So good defending there by RJ. Trone Colby looking for space there. It just was not there for him to make that move. So Trone Colby having to back out, reset up, and try again. Coming through the final corner. If Trone can get a good run here, this is going to be the chance he's going to have to make the move coming into turn 1. He is in that slipstream. You should see him pull right up in behind this car. Let's see if he pulls out. RJ is not going to defend, and Trone's not quite close enough to make the move, so, but that is going to get him very close back up in behind here. We're going to stick with this battle just for a couple more corners here, as Trone is maybe just content with sitting in behind RJ here. No, he is going to take a little look up on the outside. And he's just going to back off a little bit there. He's going to let RJ go through first. So you can see the respect from our drivers for each other on track here. And that kind of messed his line up a little bit, just laying off there. But great respect shown there by Mr. Trone Colby. So very patient racer this guy is. And we're seeing a little bit out of him here in the first round as we're coming into... we're coming down into the laces section here out of the carousel, and then we're going to be moving around the toe here. So let's see if Trone goes inside coming into the toe here. No, it does not look like it. Judging by what I'm seeing here, we're going to be seeing rounds of pit stops happening here very soon. So Sweaty Palms now move himself back up into 8th place. We just see the Corey GT taking 3rd place there. Seaberry in 9th. We got Mini Dan here in 10th. We've got Turner now up into 11th. Fuentes in 12th place, and Mao down into 13th. So, Painani is probably going to pitch here. So, let's get rid of this little thing here right for a second. Let you guys take a look what's happening here. So, we're on lap 13. We're halfway in the race. He's going to come into the little pit lane. He was on the medium tires, and you can see he is out of fuel. Yeah, that's it, man. He has no more fuel. You see JM also coming in. He is on the medium tire, and you can see he's on 1% fuel. We have Phoenix here as well, and we're going to start seeing a pile of these drivers coming in here, as you can see. So let's try to catch up here. We got RJ coming in. He was on the medium tire, very low on fuel. Trone Colby was also on the medium tire. Miguel was on that soft tire. You can see that soft screaming for help here. Phoenix was also on the medium tire, but he does have some rear aero damage here, so that's going to be a little bit painful for him if he decides to fix that. He's going to lose some time in pit lane. The Corey here was on the soft tire the first stint. I can confirm that because I could see it. And now on the medium tire here in his second stint. Sweaty Palms has gone from mediums to softs. That's why Sweaty Palms was a little off the pace early on here in the race. So now he's trying to make that time back up on the Corey, and actually is doing so. Barry here in 3rd place, much of the same strategy as the driver in front. Started on the mediums, now on the softs. Mini Dan is on some medium tires here. We've seen Turner come in, having to opt to change the strategy up a little bit, now up at a P5. We've seen him come in and just splash some fuel in that car. So it's going to be interesting to see when he pits. Trone's now come out on the soft tire. Painani's also on the soft tire. JM on the soft tire. Fuentes on the medium currently. We have RJ on the soft tire. Ramirez now on that medium. Mao here on the soft tire. And of course Phoenix on the soft tire. Now, I know we don't need to hide this information from you, but we want to keep the broadcast as accurate as possible through all 3 divisions, so that's why we are using, of course, our bottom band here. Again, this is just rebroadcast via replay, but it doesn't change the fact that the action on track is absolutely fantastic here from our Pro-Am 2 division. Sweaty Palms here in 2nd place. We got Seaberry here in 3rd. These 3 positions really haven't changed all race long, minus, of course, during the pit stop rotation, but still settling back into their podium positions that they started the race with. So Mini Dan back down into 4th place. He did have a taste of that podium position for a little bit, but losing out on Barry here, and he's having a battle with Turner right now. So let's jump on board with this battle, as Turner is trying to find a way around Mini Dan there, but Turner's going to have to come into pit lane here, so that's going to negate any battle being had there. And Turner now opting to come into pit lane for his pit stop. He's still got a fair bit of fuel there, so he did a really good job at fuel saving there. Mini Dan's going to come around. He's going to take that 4th place. Trone Colby's coming around here now. That should give him a 5th place as he comes past that start-finish line here. So that will move Troll and Colby up into 5th place. We got Painani now coming up into P6 here, chasing Troll and Colby down. Not too far behind, couple seconds. Turner's also going to lose out here to JM on this pit stop, who should come around in front as well. We're still sticking with Turner here. We see Fuentes come around in 8th, RJ come around in 9th, Mao now come around in 10th, Ramirez in 11th, and Phoenix come out in 12th. So all the way to the bottom of the pack here for Mr. Turner. But let's see how much closer he is now. Let's see how much time he made up changing up his strategy here. But the Corey is absolutely cruising here. We're on lap 15. So we're going to let him come around these last couple corners, and then we're going to jump on board with Corey GT35 here and do an onboard lap with our race leader here as we start the second half of our race here tonight. And there we go. So please enjoy the sights and sounds of the Subaru BRZ, led by, of course, THG's, the Corey GT35, ladies and gentlemen, on lap 16 of 25 here at Watkins Glen. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there was a almost full lap from our leader here, so we can see him coming in to make his second stop of the race. So let's see. Oh, and Sweaty Palms is actually going to follow him in here. So interesting strategy here by the two drivers. I guess the question is now, is Sweaty Palms going to be able to keep pace? But you can see the difference in fuel between the two drivers there, 20% compared to the 2% that Corey GT35 had here. So moving through here, Barry is going to take the lead here, but let's see where the other two drivers come out in comparison. Now this is a one-stop versus two-stop strategy here, ladies and gentlemen, so it's going to be quite interesting to see. Sorry, Barry's also on a two-stop strategy here. Trolling is going to come around here. He's just coming around turn 1 right now, so let's see if he comes out in front of those two gentlemen. Yes, he is going to come out in front of those two gentlemen. Painani now up into P3. So our final podium driver here currently in 3rd position is Painani. And then Corey here in 4th place. Haha, I see what you guys are joking about now. And battle here for 5th and 6th between Sweaty Palms and JM. Sweaty Palms trying to get the move done on JM there, but it looks like JM had a pretty good defense. So JM's going to hold 5th place for the time being from Sweaty Palms. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here as he's coming around. We're coming through the outer loop here. We're just sticking with these two drivers here for a moment. We're just in case. We don't want to miss the battle if there is a battle. And coming down through the carousel section here now. Now the carousel leads us down into the laces of the boot. Laces of the boot being this straightaway here that the drivers are on right now. Coming from this straightaway, we come into a very hard corner to the right. We call it the toe. From there, we come down to the bottom of the boot section. Call it the sole, whatever you want to call it. There's not really a name for it. And then we come into that final section of the boot there, which of course is the heel And then I guess we can call it the chase, I believe. I think is what I've heard people call it in other broadcasting in real life. So correct me if I am wrong. We do love the education just as much as I like to try and educate the viewers. So RJ here in 7th place. So Sweaty Palms has made his way around. And he's on the road. Mao in 8th. Mr. Ramirez here in 9th place, seeing a little bit of pressure from Phoenix here. Maybe good time as Phoenix is going to take a look up the inside, but he's not going to get it done. So for the time being, Ramirez holding 9th place down, but Phoenix looked like he's putting a little bit of pressure here now. Potentially could be teammates here though as well. So maybe a little bit of teamwork here to push the next guy up in front. We'll have to wait to find out. Mr. Fuentes here in 11th place as well. He's coming around now, not too far behind those two drivers up ahead, so starting to make some time back up. Mini Dan here in 12th place and Turner in 13th. So Turner has made some time up on the back part of this pack, having to change up his strategy very early on in the race here. So hats off to Turner. He's having a really good recovery drive here currently on the racetrack. We love to see that. We like to see these drivers just put their head down, put the foot into the loud pedal, and just do everything they can to try and gain whatever position or whatever time they can on the field. So we love to see that. So huge shout out to Turner there for absolutely making up a ton of time here so far in the race. But Barry is our current race leader, but as I can see here on the screen and you guys cannot, we are going to be seeing that second pit stop here within the next lap or two, if not now. And nope, it is, yep, it's going to be now. We could usually tell by the way they come into this corner, so he's going to be making that final pit stop, so we'll have to see where he comes out in comparison to Trone. So Trone is in second. That should give him the race lead. If he opts to go around again, he may come into pit lane as well. He is going to go around again. So Trone is going to hold the race lead here for at least a lap, but we will see Trone Colby have to make a pit stop here yet tonight. Barry here in the pit lane. Whoop. Just as I go to check the next driver, Pinani here now moving up into second place, being pressured here by Corey. So let's stick with this as Corey has been flying here tonight. He has had some incredible pace on this two-stop strategy, and really the only way the two-stop strategy does work over a one-stop strategy typically is to be much faster than the rest of the field, and it seems to me that that is the case here tonight with Corey. And you can see him making up quite a bit of time there on Pinani up here in front of him. So ooh, he's going to take a little bit of a look, try to get a better run on the outside of that corner, and it seems like Pinani may leave him go by here. No, he's gonna try and hold that position. So on the outside, I honestly think that Corey probably could have got that job done on the inside right there. But who am I to tell? Who am I to tell? I'm just a commentator. I just tell what I see. But Corey, again, great battle being had by these two drivers here, and Pinani doing everything he can to keep Corey behind him here. But ooh, Corey's just gonna duck back in here, being very patient. Corey is here, so we're just going to stick with this. I'm keeping my eye on that radar, making sure we're not missing anything too crazy here. We do have a packs really starting to tighten up here in behind these drivers, so we're going to go check that out here real soon. We just don't want to miss anything from this battle from these two drivers. We're going to stick with this as we just see Trone now coming into pit lane. So that's going to give these guys first and second place as they come across the start-finish line here. So let's see if Corey goes to make a move here. No, he's just going to stop. And look at that great shot of the exhaust just shooting out those flames under downshifting and upshifting here in this BRZ. It looks absolutely fantastic. We'll see if we can get a shot just for you guys, the fans out here. Oh, look at that. As he went the upshifter, you just see that little bit of extra love coming out of this BRZ here. And Corey, again, just showing some patience here. He took a look, realized it wasn't going to be the right move for the right time, tucks back in behind. Still on this driver as we come through the outer loop here. This is a great battle for first place. We're not going to leave this battle here, as the Corey is chasing down Pinani, putting all kinds of pressure on him here. So interesting race we got going on here in Pro-Am 2. Very close up front here between these two drivers currently on the racetrack. The question is, are the different strategies going to play a factor come the end of the race. We still have about 4.5 laps remaining here, so lots of time for this battle to continue to develop. Ooh, getting a little bit on that curb, and these BRZs, depending how you like to pronounce it, do not really like the curbs that much. These cars are very low to the ground, and it upsets the aerodynamic force on these cars, and you can see that when they hit these curbs. It tends to want to throw them around a little bit because they're losing that air pressure to the tarmac surface. So conditions are very cool right now, so the cars are a little bit slippery on the racetrack as well. Ooh, just about getting into the wall there, Corey was. So let's go check out the rest of our field here as these two continue to battle. We'll try to keep our eye on it the best we can here. Sweaty Palms now all the way up into third place here. JM in fourth. A little bit of a battle maybe starting to brew between them. We got RJ in fifth chasing JM down. We got Mao in sixth. We've got Phoenix in seventh. We've got Barry in eighth place. We've got Ramirez in ninth. We've got Trone in P10. We've got Minidan in 11th. We've got Turner in 12th. And we've got Fuentes in 13th. So Turner making up a spot. But Painani is still holding down the lead from Corey. So great racing between these two drivers here right now. And this is the closest thing to a battle we have on the racetrack. I mean, Corey has taken a look a few times here on Painani, but just hasn't been able to make his way around yet. He's going to take a look here on the inside. He's going to make it happen this time, coming out of the carousel as we come up the laces. Can he get it done? No, Painani defending beautifully as we come up the toe section. Wow, great job there by Painani to defend Corey off once again. Great battle these two are having here up front for the lead of this race. And here we go again. Corey tucks right back in behind Painani. Let's see if he can get around. Or is he just going to sit behind and wait till, again, coming up the end of that long straightaway at the start-finish line, try to get him going into turn one. We're coming around the final couple corners of lap 21 here. We're going to be starting lap 22 very, very soon. And Painani holding down the fort. But boy, he has seen some pressure for about the last 3.5, 4 laps from Corey. And Corey has been relentless. He is not giving this fight up. Let's get back through our field to see what else is going on. Sweaty Palm still holding down third place here. We have JM in fourth. We've got RJ in fifth. No real battles happening here. We got Phoenix in sixth. Mao in seventh. I mean, drivers are trying to catch each other here. Barry starting to close up on Mao here as well, as he gets a really good run out of the final corner here. If we're going to see the move, we should see it here. Let's see what happens. He's in the slip. Is he going to take a look? Yes, he's going to take a look. Can he get that nose in there? Ooh, tight racing by those two drivers. Just enough room for him to get that curb there and keep that car under control, but great defense there by Mao. Ramirez in 9th. Trone still holding down the fort here in 10th. We got Minidan in 11th. We got Turner in 12th. Fuentes in 13th. Back to this battle for the lead. When is Corey finally going to make the move stick? Or is Painani's defense going to be proving worthy of this race win today? We're about to find out. We have just 2.5 laps remaining, and here we go. Corey is taking a look. He's on the inside. Is he going to get the job done? Yes, coming into the corner. He's going to be late on the brakes here. Great job holding that corner. Painani not able, looking for the cutback there, but just does not have the exit that Corey got on him. So Corey finally getting the race lead back at the end of lap 22. Great battling by these two drivers. A good solid 5-lap battle for the race lead here. And Corey so far coming out on top. I apologize. My bad, guys. Painani here in second place. Sweaty Palms in third. We've got JM in fourth. We've got RJ in fifth. And Phoenix is starting to close in. So potential battle developing here between these two right at race's end. Maybe even a little bit before, as you see Phoenix starting to close in. He got a really good exit there. Let's see what happens coming out of the final corner. Ooh, he's going to get a great run on RJ here. Is he going to pull out and make the move? He has the run. If he's going to do it, now's the time. No, he's going to sit in behind. So being patient. Maybe he's going to wait for a couple laps to shed down and make that final lap move. We'll have to wait to find out. Barry here in 7th, trying to catch those two guys up front, trying to lose this guy chasing behind him. Mao. Ramirez in 9th, Trone in 10th. Turner in 11th. We got Mini Dan in 12th and Fuentes in 13th. Those guys have a little bit of space in between them and the next drivers in front of and behind them. Corey starting to pull a gap here on Painani. Now, different strategies. They stopped at different times. One driver's on older tires than the other driver. You can also see Corey now on a purple sector here. Painani in second, still trying to have a response for Corey for taking that lead away from him here, but he is running out of time. We're just about 2 laps remaining here. We have Sweaty Palms here in third place, and he's coming around that final sector out of the boot there right now, out of the heel. So here we go. JM in fourth with RJ in fifth. Ooh, what do we got going on here? A little battle for fifth place is Phoenix finally taking a look here as we're coming into the heel of the boot section. And, ooh, Barry trying to follow him through, but just wasn't quite able to get it done. So a little bit of defending happening there from RJ, but by doing that, he allowed Barry to take the inside coming up through the chase here. But he's going to respond with a beautiful looking cutback. Is he going to be able to get it done coming into the final couple corners here? He's going to have that inside line, should have a good run out here, and he does. So RJ responds right back, says, thank you very much. I'll take that position back, my friend. Catch me if you can. However, RJ saying, all right, mate, let's do this. Let's get this done into turn 1. So now Barry in the lead coming into the first corner here. Can he hold the corner? Yes. Gonna get the job done. RJ falling back to P7. Great battle these two are having here very at the end of the race. Now going, yes, guys, keep battling. Just a little bit longer. I'm catching up. Miguel Ramirez here in 9th. He's got a penalty, unfortunately for him. That could be beneficial here for Trone trying to catch up to him. Turner, Mini Dan, and Fuentes here, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Back to our race leader. He is on his white flag or his second last lap, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies, second last lap. I can't do math. Math is hard. All right, I'm kidding. Painani here in second. Sweaty Palms here in third. JM in fourth. Phoenix in fifth, and he still is being pressured now by Barry, who's looking to grab yet another position before this race is over. This boy is hungry. He's like, all right, I can see this guy. I can get this guy. Let's go get him. Ooh, and we see JM get really, really wide as he's coming in through the toe. That should give Barry a really good run here as we're coming down the laces into the heel sector. A little bit of a semi-defense there. Not a full defense, but just enough to keep Barry behind him here. We got some good racing happening here right by these drivers of the mid-pack here right near the end of the race, but we are going to have to get back to our race leaders in due time here. RJ in 7th place trying to catch those two up. Mao in 8th. We got Ramirez in 9th. Trone in 10th, and Turner now starting to, oh, maybe a back marker. That might be a lap traffic car right there in between. No, it's Ramirez. So Trone is catching Ramirez. Potential battle brewing there as well. Let's get back to the front of our pack here. So Corey looking like he's got enough fuel to finish out this race. He's on his final lap here, and we're just coming into the boot section right now. So coming down in through the carousel here. Once we come around this corner, we're going to get into the laces. Halfway around his final lap is our race leader Corey, who's looked very strong tonight, been very dominant all race long. So Corey GT35 coming up the toe right now. Very hard right-hand hairpin coming all the way uphill. From there we come down in through, I guess what we call the sole, into the heel, and then from there the chase, ladies and gentlemen. So in through the heel we go. Aaron Benson coming in with that thumbs up. Much love. How you doing, my guy? How's the dad life, dude? Coming around the final couple corners is our race leader, Corey GT35 with Team THG. And 2 corners to go. Final corner here in this first round at Watkins Glen for our Pro-Am 2 division. And our winner is, ladies and gentlemen, Corey GT35. Absolutely fantastic race from this gentleman. Very well-earned race here. Coming down in behind is Painani for a very solid second place finish here from this driver. And Sweaty Palms is going to round out our podium here in 3rd place. So very close, but not quite there as JM. But hey, no shame in a good solid race there by him in 4th place. Barry managing to get around Phoenix in the mid-pack there. Unfortunately, we did miss that battle, but he is going to pick up that final spot he was looking for before he crosses that line. 5th place for Barry. So great job there by Barry. And we got Phoenix pulling out of the way there. So RJ coming around. Phoenix in 7th. We got Mao in 8th. And woof, Trone Kobe with the drag race there in 9th place. Ramirez here in 10th. Turner is going to come around here in 11th place as well, as he's coming around that final corner here right now. Absolutely fantastic racing here by our Pro-Am 2 guys last night. So great job by all these drivers. Mini Dan here coming around for a 12th place finish here tonight. And Alex Fuentes coming around in 13th. So no driver went a lap down in this Pro-Am 2 division. So huge congratulations to all those drivers, all staying on the lead lap here. Massive shout out to the Corey GT35, Pinani, and Sweaty Palms. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So we're not going to be doing live podium interviews because these are done via replay, ladies and gentlemen. So what we have been asked to do by the officials of Flat Out Racing North America, which is sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing, ladies and gentlemen. And I apologize, I haven't said that yet. And of course, I'm your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming. Settle in. This is just 1 out of 3 races tonight that we're going to go through here. So we still have a couple hours of good high-flying action here from Flat Out Racing North America for everybody. So we're just going to flip you over to our podium interview screens here. All right, and we're going to update our finishing list for everybody. Helps when it actually works properly. Alright, now we're updating. Alright, this is fantastic stuff. You just gotta do a little streamer magic here to get all this working, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with me. It takes just a couple of minutes. Not even a couple of minutes. If I do it right, it takes a matter of seconds. So, Sweaty Palms, our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and he did send me a little bit about how he felt the race went, of course. And of course a few extra other things on top of that, so just bear with me while I bring up my notes, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll bring that little bit of a tidbit from Sweaty Palms here for everybody. Alright, so Sweaty Palms, ladies and gentlemen, or ECI Racing, as well as you can see him on screen. As moving forward, we are going to start to stick with the drivers' PSN names, as that's just how I prefer to do my broadcasting. This week we're using the nicknames because that is fairly what matches up our drivers list mainly, but we'll be making that adjustment moving into next week. We'll be using the drivers' PSN names, so it'll be a little bit confusing for the first 2 or 3 rounds till all of us together as a group of viewers and of course race fans and racers sort it all out in our own minds. So it's fantastic stuff. But this comes from Sweaty Palms. He said he felt that he had a good race. He wasn't able to catch the eventual race winner. He needed about 1 more lap to run down the 2nd place finisher. He said it was very good, clean racing with some very fast drivers. Shout out to all the boys from last season's AM series with Flying Fox Racing, Morin Progenitals, Smokem Holt, Barry, Turner. Special thanks to Smokem Holt for getting me into Flat Out Racing. Special thanks to Morin, who promoted me last season from a sub to a permanent sub. And special thanks to Progenitor Giggity. Lastly, a big shout out to my wife, who's let me occupy space in our house with a full driving rig. Patience of a saint. My man, the biggest shout out of the evening right off the bat, going out to the family, the wife, the family, the kids behind the scenes of these drivers. Without them being patient and understanding and allowing us to have our fun time with our adult friends, we wouldn't be able to have the drivers that we have on the field. Huge shout out to the families, great shout outs, and of course great little write up there from Sweaty Palms. So much appreciation. We also have a write-up from our winner as well. We did not manage to get a write-up from our 2nd place driver, and that's quite all right, ladies and gentlemen, but we are still going to give him his beautiful silver name up on the screen here. If I can get it right, that is. Oops. We're going off memory here because I don't have the finishing order right in front of me, so There we go. All right, now this driver, I mean, what can I say about this driver? Based off what I saw, he started, near the 10th place part of the order. He stayed very patient at the race start, and this driver proved to be a smart, patient driver. He used very good race strategy, and at the end of the day, that got this driver into second place. Now, some absolutely amazing defending by this driver. Throughout the latter part of that race as he was battling with our eventual race winner, Corey GT35. And huge hats off to Pinani for a Pro-Am driver. He showed some defending at a very high level of sim racing. And if that's what he's going to be bringing to the racetrack in this Pro-Am 2 lobby all season long, these guys are going to have some absolutely crazy battles trying to get around this particular driver. Huge shout outs to Pinani, his team, and thank you for being here in round one. Absolutely great start to the season for that driver. And we're going to, of course, move up to our race winner here, ladies and gentlemen, who is THG's Corey GT35. So this gentleman, I mean, what can we say about this gentleman? He started on pole position. I'm pretty sure he took fastest lap, and I believe with that it is a clean sweep for him here in round one at Watkins Glen, taking all the bonus points and the race win. So first and foremost, massive congratulations to P1, ladies and gentlemen, the Corey GT35, THG's Corey GT35. Oh boy, this driver's going to kick me in the butt later. I am so sorry, you guys, to the team, and of course the driver. My apologies. Yeah, my brain is just not quite computing properly apparently today. But this driver did send us a write-up, so of course just let me go into my footnotes here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll let you know what this driver had to say about his race. So he's like, hello fans, hope everyone is well. I race for THG Racing. Team Holland, been sim racing for 3 years. He is a GTR simulated sponsored driver. My bad. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen much in the first two races of the season, the AM division and the Elite division. We did see one of the sponsors have two drivers finish on the podium out of those two divisions. So a first place finish for the AM division in Apex Racing's Heathen, and then a third place finish from Apex Pay Me in the Elite division last night. So in the Pro-Am 2 lobby, we have a now another title sponsor driver from GTR Simulators, THG's Corey GT35, coming in first place in Pro-Am 2. So far, early on here at Flat Out Racing North America, our sponsored drivers are showing some dominance throughout all the divisions. I guess we'll have to wait to see what happens as we progress throughout our other two races here this evening. But back to what he was having to say here. This is his second season with Flat Out. He was a pro sub last season. What a race. He really enjoyed the race. He wasn't sure if he was going to make the two-stop work, but is thrilled to get it for to get the win for Team THG and bring home a win for GTR Simulator. Got into traffic during the middle of the stint. I wasn't sure how things were going to play out. I want to thank and congratulate my teammate Sticky Bandit, who was out there every night training with me. I hope to keep the momentum going into the next race. Of course, next week, ladies and gentlemen, Alsace Village. Now, this BRZ should be really fun around this racetrack for these drivers next week. It is designed for a racetrack that technical. So it's going to be quite interesting to see the difference between the high-speed track compared to a more technical track throughout all the divisions, of course, with the cars that they are driving all season long. So huge shout-outs to Corey GT35, and congratulations to all three of these drivers for their race finishes here last night. Of course, these races were ran at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to flip everybody over to the starting soon screen just for a minute. We're going to get race 2 all set up and ready to go, let you listen to some awesome music, and then we'll flip back to the details screen. We'll bring up that Pro-Am 1 lobby drivers list, and we'll kick off race number 2, ladies and gentlemen. So just bear with me. We'll be back in about a minute and a half to 2 minutes time it'll take to load up the next race. And thank you so much for your viewing pleasure. I hope everybody's enjoying it. And again, please let me know how the game audio sounds, the cars. We're going to make a slight adjustment for you guys, and hopefully it sounds just a little bit better come our Pro-Am 1 lobby. So hang out, everybody. Good time to go for potty breaks. Good time to go refresh your beverages, maybe grab some snacks, tuck the kids in, give them a good kiss and hug goodnight. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We've got the Pro-Am 1 lobby up and running. So, we're just going to change the driver's list up for you guys. Give me uno momento. There we go. All right, so welcome back, everybody, and race 2. Don't panic, don't rush back. We're going to go over our driver's list here. We're going to go over the details in case you missed the details at the beginning of the stream. So we are here with our 4th division of the series out of the 5. It is Pro-Am 1, P1, Pro-Am Lobby 1. What we just watched was our Pro-Am Lobby 2. So now we're going to watch our Pro-Am Lobby 1 next. And this is a seriously tight stacked Pro-Am lobby. These drivers are super close in qualifying, and much like our Pro-Am 2 race, we're going to see some pretty crazy racing from these guys. Egon coming in with that like going woot woot. I apologize to everybody on YouTube. I've been missing your comments. They just all loaded up into my stream here finally. So we definitely have a lot of catching up to do here. Get a Barry Woot. Great job, Corey. Great job, Fox. The Sweaty Palms. Barry and Turner. Nice race to Corey. You're welcome, old chap, says Keith Holt. Doug Barrow coming in saying great race, guys. Great stuff. Chris Reeves also coming in with the likes. We have Christopher Gargiulio coming in with the follow on Facebook. My man, much love. I appreciate your support. Welcome to the Winner Circle community. Welcome to the family, my dude. Appreciate you. And if you guys see any spam come into the YouTube section, just go ahead and report it, and they'll remove it for us as well. Unfortunately, my filters don't quite stop all those bots. So moving forward, again, round 1, ladies and gentlemen, the track is going to change. We're at Watkins Glen here, and we'll do a live tutorial of Watkins Glen at some point in the race with the race leader like we do for every division, and we'll talk you through the racetrack. So our driver's lineup here in our Pro-Am 1 lobby is M. Morin. He is the man, the brainchild behind Flat Out Racing North America. This gentleman is also a GTR simulated sponsored driver, so one of our main title sponsors here has a driver in our Pro-Am 1 lobby as well. We have Raylander in here as well. We have Progenitor, another Flying Fox driver in here as well. Flocken. We have AMS McCall, who is a quick driver. We have Indio 2371, Egon, Apex Racing's Larry Birch. So the other title sponsor here in the series, Apex Racing, has a couple of drivers here in this division as well with Apex Larry Birch. We have Ridge Raider in here as well, another sponsored driver from Apex Racing in Superman, Apex Superman, ladies and gentlemen. We have Lucky 7, Sticky Bandit, Germ, and Elbows Out Racing. So that is a juicy lineup, ladies and gentlemen, and I gotta tell you, it's gonna be fun. But before we go any further, let's talk about our details. It is racing mediums and racing soft tires required for the race. The drivers are required to use both compound of tires. There is no mandatory pit stop, so to speak, and there is no pit window. These drivers can use as many tires as they want, as much fuel as they want. As long as they use a set of medium tires and a set of soft racing tires, everything is a-okay. If they do not use both sets of the regulatory tires, of course, the officials at Flat Out Racing North America that do our stewarding after the races will deal with it from there accordingly. As a commentator, it's my job to bring the action to you. As stewards, it's their job to do all the dirty work and hand out, if any, and needed penalties to the drivers. And we'll have to see how that all plays out after our first round of racing here. So far, the racing has looked pretty neat and tidy. It's looked really clean from all our divisions, and from what I can tell so far, it shouldn't be too much work for our stewards here, hopefully, this week. But let's get into it, shall we? Sponsored by, again, ladies and gentlemen, GTR Simulators and Apex Racing. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and the graphics we are seeing on the screen, minus our driver's list and our track guide here in front of you, is all done by Hypre Graphics. So let's flip back over to the screen. let's see how qualifying went for all the drivers here today. Again, 13 drivers on track for this race. This race was also ran at 9:30 Eastern Time last night, ladies and gentlemen. So, Pro-Am lobby, Pro-Am 1 lobby, round 1, Watkins Glen. Let's go through the field. On pole position is sponsored driver Apex Racing's Larry Birch. Bonus point for Larry. Good start to a race, in my opinion. Moving down into second is Indio here as well. Third place is Walters, and that is, I believe, Progenitor, if I'm not mistaken. We have fourth place is the Sticky Bandit. We have Raylander here in fifth. We've got Smoke'em Holt in sixth place. We've got Mr. Morin in seventh. We've got JL Salas here in eighth. We've got Apex's Superman in ninth. We've got Eeyore in 10th. We got Egon in 11th. We've got German 12th and Stackin' Yak in 13th. Now, these are their GT7 nicknames that we are seeing on the screen, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to put everything back to, of course, the drivers' PSN names next week. So, are we ready, ladies and gentlemen? Chat, you guys ready? Everybody ready to start race number 2 on the evening here from Flat Out Racing, North America? I know I'm ready. Are you guys? I don't hear you up in the chats. Let's go. Larry Birch says Tattooed Freak. Of course, one of the head main guys over at Apex Racing. The sponsors coming in and showing that support to their drivers and the league. Absolutely love that. We absolutely love that. We love to see the sponsors very interactive with the community. It just shows love going both ways. It's fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's kick it. Grid start, full start check. We got 3 reds. Kick them tires, light them fires. Let's go. Racing Pro-Am 1 lobby. Round 1 Watkins Glen is underway, and Larry looks like he gets a great start. Let's get on board with our leader here. And Larry is going to take the whole shot here. You can see Indio trying to find a way around him, but Larry immediately going defensive. Smart driver there, deciding to protect what's there. All right, let's move down the field. We got Indio in third. We got Sticky Bandit. Ooh, looking like a little bit of trouble there as one of the drivers got really wide there coming out of turn 1. D. Walters here in fourth. We got Raylander in fifth. Morin has moved up into sixth place, but he is being challenged back by Smoke'em Holt. Are these two going to battle going into the bus stop? Let's stick with the mid-pack here for a second as we come into the bus stop for the very first time here in Pro-Am lobby. Pro-Am 1 lobby. And no, he is not. Morin's going to hold it. Smoke'em Holt, he's going to play nice side by side, but coming down through the outer loop here. Driver making a mistake. Walters just managing to hold that fourth place position from Raylander. And look at all the Flying Foxes here. 3 out of 4 drivers there with those Flying Foxes on those race cars. Walters in fourth, Raylander in fifth. We still got Morin here in now down into sixth. We got Smoke'em Holt in the seventh. And those guys probably not trying to battle, probably trying to work together, but they do need to sort out which of these two drivers is the quicker driver so they can slipstream properly here. We got Eeyore up into 8th place. We got Apex Superman up into 9th. We've got Egon in 10th. We got Stackin' Yak in 11th. We've got Germ in 12th and Salas in 13th here. So, whew, that was a crazy start to this race as well, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Apex's Larry Birch, about a 1-second gap here on the field currently. The Sticky Bandit chasing him down. So the Sticky Bandit, early mover here from 4th to 2nd place. Toolshed coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? Hope you're having a fantastic day, my man. We have Indio here now in 3rd place, so still sitting on the podium, but losing 2nd place there to the Sticky Bandit. Walter's still in 4th place here, chasing down those podium finishers. Raylander still in 5th, still managing to hold off. Mark Morin here in 6th place. Eeyore moving up into 7th here, having a battle with Smoke'em Holt. Smoke'em Holt is have the inside line. No, he does not. Eeyore has the inside line. Can't tell the two apart. Cars look the same. Haha. Smoke'em Holt losing a position here to 8th place, but you can see him fighting back as we come up through the S's here. Superman now side by side as these two go up the S's. Woo-wee. This mid-pack is juicy. We love it. Superman, is he going to get the job done before we hit this bus stop? He is out ahead. He's going to slip right in front of Smoke'em Holt there. Smoke'em Holt is just going to back off, stay single file like we seen him do last time behind Morin as well, and play nice here. So Superman moving up into 8th place. Couple positions gained by him. Smoke'em Holt starting to lose some positions, but again, might be different strategy here. Egon in 10th place. We've got Stackin' Yak in 11th. We've got Salas now up into 12th place, and Germ, ooh, getting really wide there. Woo, 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 a little bit of air, keeping it together, having a little bit of fun. Woo, hang on. Hang on. Dirty tires, dirty tires. Okay, okay, he's got it. He's got it. So he's just got to get himself settled down here now. Anytime you have an incident like that, it is scary moments for a race car driver. It happens very, very, very quickly, and sometimes you don't have time to react. So now the driver's job is just to get his nerves back under control, get a hold of that steering wheel, and get locked back in. Put the loud pedal down and see what he can do to catch up. Christopher coming in with that thumbs up. LJ coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love, everybody. Welcome in. So, Larry Birch in the early lead here as we're coming around at the end of lap 2, leading into lap 3. So, we have Larry Birch leading the way, Sticky Bandit chasing. Look at this lineup of drivers here coming up this front straightaway. Walter's now up into 3rd place. He has gotten around Indio, so Indio has dropped from 2nd to 4th here. Morin now chasing him down in 5th place. Raylander in 6th. Superman has moved his way up another position into 7th. He is on the move. Eeyore here in 8th place. Smoke'em Holt in 9th. Now settling into his race, we have Stack and Yak in 10th place, and he's being pressured by Egon. So, we get to see a move coming into the bus stop here by Egon. Some of these drivers are not afraid to go 2x2 through the bus stop, and some drivers just like to play the cautious side and just keep it single file, and Egon is going to keep it single file here, see if he can get a good run coming into the outer loop in the carousel, and see if he can make something happen through this boot section here. So, good patience showing from all our Pro-Am 1 drivers here so far tonight. Salas in 12th place with Germ here in 13th. We've seen a little bit of an incident from Germ. He is suffering from some damage on that race car. We'll have to see how he decides to handle that. Is he going to continue on, or is he going to make an early pit stop to fix that damage? We'll have to wait to find out. But Apex's Larry Birch up the road, but Sticky Bandit is all over him. He has not let that driver get within a second further away from him. So Sticky Bandit and Larry Birch very early on very quick pace. Larry getting a little bit wide as we're coming out of the heel up the chase here, and that's going to allow Sticky Bandit to catch up just a little tiny bit here. So here we go, Larry Birch coming around, Sticky Bandit chasing in the tow. A nice little battle between Walters and Morin. Morin has now moved his way up around Indio into 4th place. Larry Birch coming around to lead the charge here on lap 4. Sticky Bandit still chasing. Sticky Bandit sitting right there in behind Larry Birch and just seeing what he can do. Is he going to play nice? Is he going to let Larry do the work? Is he going to save some fuel, some tire while in behind Larry Birch? Let that slipstream pull him around the racetrack a little bit. Come pit time, if they're on the same strategy, that could be the difference of a second or two in pit lane. Walters here in 3rd place. Progenitor, ladies and gentlemen, from Flying Fox Racing. Morin in 4th place, and you can see him really tucking up behind his teammate Walters here. So I guess the big question is, do these guys play nice, work together, do a little bump drafting around the racetrack, catch those two drivers up in 1st and 2nd place, or are they going to battle? We'll have to wait to find out. We'll stick with them here for a couple of corners. You see Morin going a little bit wide there, of course keeping some clean air in the race car, allowing that car to stay the course, stay the road. And it looks like Morin is just quite content to sit in behind his teammate here currently in the race. Probably a good idea, good strategy here from these two drivers. Indio in 5th place. We've got Raylander in 6th. We've got Apex the Superman still here in 7th place. You can see a couple of cars in behind chasing. You can see him starting to chase down Raylander. Let's jump on board with our sponsor driver, Apex the Superman here. Well, we take these last couple corners coming out of the boot sector up the chase. And you can really see Superman gain some time on Raylander right there. And let's see how what happens here as we come around the last couple corners up this long front stretch here. And as you can see by our beautiful onboard secondary cockpit camera here that the guys have put in the cars for us to view from, right-hand drive these Subaru BRZs are. So, Eeyore are all up in Superman's business, and we may see a side-by-side coming up the S's here. It's going to be interesting to see what these drivers opt to do as we start to head towards that inner loop or the very famous bus stop. And Superman still in the draft of Eeyore here as well. So let's see how the three cars handle this in the slipstream situation coming into the bus stop here. And I mean, what can you say? Handle it like pros. You see Superman getting a little bit wide there. He's gonna have some dirty tires here. It's gonna be a little bit difficult to keep that line, but really good defense there by Superman. But that is gonna force him wide out into the carousel section, and that's going to give Raylander the run, or Eeyore, sorry, the run on Superman here. But Superman is absolutely battling for his life with this driver for that position. Superman just holding Eeyore off here. He's going to tuck back in front as we come up around the toe. So great defending there by Superman. I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've been watching this man, Superman, race for a very long time. He's a very long-standing member of my community. And what I'm seeing here on the racetrack tonight really makes me smile. I'm proud of this man. To see the progress that Superman has made is phenomenal. And to see him having these amazing battles on the racetrack makes me smile as a commentator. Absolutely great stuff. We have Salas here in 10th place. We have Egon in 11th. And you can see these guys are just battling like crazy in the mid-back pack here. We're almost 3 wide coming through the chase here. These guys finally settle back into single file. Stack and Yak at 12. Germ is now catching these guys because they've been battling so hard. So the Sticky Bandit has made his way around Larry Birch. So Sticky Bandit now in the race lead. So now Larry Birch is the driver chasing. Let's see if he can catch back up. Larry Birch has Walter starting to gain on him here, though. So Larry Birch is in a tough spot here in second place currently right now with the pace of these top 4 drivers are showing. He is trying to not lose the first place driver any more than the gap already is, but he also doesn't want to lose any time to the driver in behind, and Walters and Morin. And these two are teammates, and you can tell that the two of these drivers working together has absolutely closed up the gap on Larry Birch. So now they got to work around getting around him here and start chasing down Sticky Bandit in the lead. Very interesting strategy here coming from the Flying Fox Racing team here on track. Absolutely great stuff. Absolutely great stuff, gotta say. Indio still hanging on to 5th place here. He started in 2nd. He's still doing good, but he's going to have a 12-second track limit penalty here. Going to pull off that racing line. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And Raylander going to grab that position from him, go back into 5th place. So Indio down into 6th. Superman and Eeyore still battling here for 7th and 8th place. So great battle happening here between these two drivers, but that is most certainly definitely slowing them down from catching up the next two drivers up in front. Ooh, you can see Eeyore getting it a little bit wrong. They're really throwing that car across the racetrack. Did a great job to gather it up there and keep it out of that inside wall. That could have been devastating for his race midway or a quarter of the way through here. We see Walters coming into pit lane here. Eeyore in 8th place. We've got Salas in 9th. We've got Stack and Yak still holding down the top 10 here. We got Smoke'em Holt in 11th. We've got Egon in 12th place. And Germ here in for 13th in the final position. Two drivers now into pit lane. So again, much like that Pro-Am 2 lobby, we're seeing some two-stop strategies, and again we're going to see different variations of that two-stop strategy. So some great racing here had by all our drivers. Chris Reeves and popcorn and drinks. Hey, let's go. Ready. Please use our team name THG. I will. Oh, it's THG Sticky Bandit. I got you. All right, so Larry Birch here in 2nd place. We've got OBR's Raylander here in 3rd place. We got Indio in 4th, and potentially an OBR driver here as well. Very similar livery. Yeah, Superman here in 5th. So Superman gaining some positions after those pit stops here. Now up in the top 5, trying to chase Indio down. So some great racing coming from all these drivers here tonight. Eeyore in 6th place now. Salas has moved up into 7th with the stops. Yak has moved up into 8th. Walters, who's one of the drivers that has stopped, has come out into 9th place with teammate right behind. But teammate has that track limit, or the pit line crossing penalty, either on entry or exit. He is going to have to serve that 3-second penalty as he comes around the toe here, and that is going to cost him 3 seconds on his partner up ahead there. Egon here in 11th place is the one driver who's going to benefit from that 3-second penalty the most, and will gain some pretty significant time on Morin in front. Smoke'em Holt here in 12th place as well, and Germ now in pit lane. So having an issue here with the car, he's got the team looking at it. THG's Sticky Bandit in 1st place. looking very solid here. He is starting to open up a little bit of a gap now on Larry Birch in front. So on lap 8, we're probably looking at about a 4.5 to 5 second gap between Sticky Bandit and Larry Birch here. Larry Birch coming out of the S's on a purple sector, so he's definitely got the pace. It's going to be interesting to watch these two drivers battle it out here, I think, all race long. OBR's Raylander here now in 3rd place. He has been doing very solid here tonight. He's just remained patient and calm. He's sticking to his strategy and currently sitting in the final podium position early on in the race. Indio, who started in 2nd place, now back up into 4th. So showing some good patience and consistency here from this driver. Superman starting in 10th. He's been a big mover here early on in the race, up into 5th place here. Salas as well, starting near the back of the field, also up into 6th. He's been moving up the field quite nicely himself. Stack and Yak now in the midfield here, right in the middle of this pack, in 7th place. Walters, who we've just seen made a pit, coming out in 9th. Teammate just behind in 9th place, sorry, is Morin. Egon now in 10th. Eeyore in 11th. Smoke'em Holt in 12th. And we still have Germ in pit lane here. So having some form of mechanical issue with his BRZ. The crew is working on it. Hopefully they get that driver back on track. Is it illegal to be driving and watching this at the same time? It could be. It could be. So THG's Sticky Bandit here, looking very in command here. He got around Apex Larry Birch, and he's been able to maintain a nice solid gap from that driver since he's been able to get around him. So looking very solid here. About a third of the way through the race now. We're probably going to start seeing some of these drivers thinking about making stops here if they're going to be using a 2-stop strategy. So within the next 2 or 3 laps, I assume we're going to start seeing these drivers coming in. Raylander here in 3rd place, being chased by his teammate, I believe, in Indio. And not too far behind. Right behind them is Superman, and he is charging. So now we've got Stack and Yak in pit lane. Here in 6th place, we've got Salas as well in pit lane in 7th. Walters coming around right now, should grab that spot back, so he's going to leapfrog himself back into 6th place with teammate Morin just behind in 7th. So let's see how many more positions these drivers lose as Egon now comes around. He's going to move up into 8th place himself. Stack and Yak coming out, Silva coming out. Where's Eeyore? Ooh, this is going to be close. This is going to be very close. Eeyore may come out in front of these guys. Smoke them as well, but we're going to have to wait to see here. And Eeyore is going to get around, and so is Smoke'em Holt. Stack and Yak coming out in 11th, and Salas coming out in 12th, and Germ still getting that car worked on. Hopefully that crew can get that car figured out and get that gentleman back on track. We love to see it. Love to see the hard work behind the scenes here. You know, huge shout out to the crews. They keep these cars running week in and week out. So hopefully they can get that sorted out with that race car, and hopefully we can see that driver finish up his race here tonight. Sticky Bandit now making his first stop of the night here on lap 10. You can see there on the soft tire. Larry Birch is going to opt to go around again, take that race lead back from the THG's Sticky Bandit. OBR Raylander coming around is going to grab that spot as well. Indio's going to get ahead. Superman now moving up into 4th place as well as he comes across the start-finish line. And where is Walters going to come out? So we just seen THG Sticky Bandit coming out of pit lane. So he should come out in front of Walters and Morin here for sure. So showing very, very solid pace. He is going to stay ahead of these drivers as he should if it were to stay the way it were once all the pit stops circulate through. Egon up into 8th place. He is going around again. Eeyore here coming around in 9th. Is he going to stop? He's already stopped once. Smoke'em Holt here in 10th. We have Stack and Yak in 11th, still holding Salas off here. And again, Germ still getting that car looked at there in pit lane. But Larry Birch now the man in the lead currently here in the race as the pit stops are starting to make their rounds. And he's got a very good gap on 2nd place Raylander here, OBR's Raylander. That is a fairly sizable gap between the drivers here. Indio in 3rd place, chasing his teammate Raylander here. And he has got a mirror full of Apex Racing's Superman here to deal with as we're coming near the end of the majority of the drivers' first stints here. So far, we haven't seen any drivers go for that one-stop strategy, but that commitment point is starting to come up, and there we go. Our leader, Larry Birch, now coming into pit lane here as well. So he's making his first stop. You can see he's on the medium tire as opposed to the soft tire start by THG Sticky Bandit. So different tire strategies here in our first stint from those two drivers. Sticky Bandit, speaking of, coming around right now. Let's see where he ends up in comparison with Larry Birch. He's going to come around that. He's going to come across that start-finish line. Now, this is his out lap, so a lap's difference between the two drivers here. Is he going to come out in front of? Most likely, but we're going to wait to find out. And you can even see the fuel hasn't even gone into that car yet. So, yes, THG Sticky Bandit is going to move up into 4th place. Walter's now up into 5th with teammate Morin not too far behind here in 6th. Larry Birch will come out of pit lane just behind those two in 7th. Egon coming just in behind. Pit stop driver Larry Birch now in 8th place himself. Eeyore still here hanging it out in 9th. Really wide corner there, but just keeping it within those track limits there. Smoke 'em Hold here in 10th place. We got Stack and Yak in 11th and Salas here in 12th. And we still have 13th place driver in pit lane getting that car assessed. So our leader now on track is OBR Raylander, and he's being chased by Superman. So we've seen the lead change 4 different times here. Now we've had 4 different leaders of our race so far in our Pro-Am 1 lobby division. So pretty fantastic stuff. That's what we like to see. That means these guys are nice and close in pace, and there's going to be some good racing all season long. Now remember, this is the first race of the season for all these drivers, and they're just getting used to each other on track. They're just getting familiar with each other. They're learning about each other. They're learning about each other's driving styles. So come about round 4 or 5 is when we're really going to start seeing some really incredible racing from all 5 divisions across the board here at Flat Out Racing North America. So Indio here in 2nd. We got Superman now coming into pit lane. He's already got those tires on. You see the fuel man putting some fuel in that car. THG Sticky Bandit going to come around. He's going to take P3 with the pit stop from Superman. Walter's coming around here. He should grab P4 off Superman here as well, and he most certainly will. And what are we looking at here? That fuel man's still working on that car. So we got Morin also coming around with Larry Birch in tow. So Larry Birch now chasing the 2 Flying Fox drivers down here in 6th place. Egon's going to come around. He's going to slot in 7th place here, just ahead of Superman, it looks like. Yes. Eeyore is going to come around and slot himself in ahead of the driver in pit lane as well. Smoke 'em Holt's going to come around. He is in 9th place. Stack and Yak is just coming around turn 1. It's going to be very close between these two drivers. You can just see Superman is going to come out just in behind. So Superman does come out here in 11th place, and Salas here in 12th. And Germ's still having issues with that car. They are looking at it. You do hear it running, so hopefully they have something working out there for that team and they can get that car back on the road. But in the meantime, back to our race leader, who is OBR Raylander. And I wouldn't say he's got a huge gap, but he does have a gap from 2nd place driver Indio. Now both these drivers seem to be on the same strategy, so I would assume we're probably going to see these drivers both stop at the same time. THG Sticky Bandit here rolling in 3rd place and basically just kind of biding his time. He knows those guys got to stop up ahead of him here eventually, so he doesn't need to over push his car here currently right now. And we're not really seeing him over push his car at all, actually, now that we mention it. So just keeping it nice and right and tight, keeping it nice and smooth right now. He's remaining calm. He knows he doesn't need to force the issue with these drivers currently on the racetrack. He needs to worry about these guys here chasing behind, but you know that he is monitoring that gap. And Walters has broken away from that group chasing in behind. So now really all he needs to do is just focus on catching the drivers up in front. Morin has a little bit more to worry about here as he has Larry Birch starting to catch up here. So Larry Birch showing some good pace here early on in the race tonight as well, as he is starting to close in on Morin. We're going to monitor that little battle here as we just remain to go through our field. Egon here in 7th place, not too far behind those drivers either. Eeyore about 4.5, 5 seconds behind Egon. Smokem Holt, much of the same thing. And then we have a little separation with Stackham Yak, our other Apex driver Superman, and Salas here in 12th. And of course, one driver still not able to get his car back on the racetrack, having some kind of more malfunction with that race car, not acting right, whatever the case is, but he does have it sitting there in pit lane. So Raylander here in 1st place, and I'm assuming we're going to start seeing these drivers make their pit stops anytime now. So fantastic race here being had by the Pro-Am 1 lobby, and there we go. Just as I say it, we are going to see OBR's Raylander come into pit lane. You can see him on that medium tire and getting very low on fuel there. So I do suspect we're going to see Indio probably... No, Indio's going to run out one more time. He's going to run another lap here. Now, it does get to a point where you do start to lose time on worn out tires. Is this the right call from Indio? I guess we'll have to wait to find out, as he is going to get past his teammate there. THG Sticky Bandit now up into 2nd place, and again, just running his pace, running his race, being very patient, not forcing the issue here, and just continues to move back up towards the lead as all these pit stops start to filter through here. So Walter's in 3rd place, with Larry Birch now has gotten around Morin here, moved up into 4th place. Morin in 5th place, trying to catch Larry Birch back up. Egon here, who seems to be on a one-stop strategy as well, up into 6th place, with Eeyore starting to track him down here in 7th. Smokem Holt in 8th place. OBR Raylander's just now starting to come out of pit lane here, so let's just stick with this driver here as he comes out. Stack and Yak just coming around there. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to our 9th, 10th, and 11th place drivers. Oh, it's going to be very close here, as he is going to come out right in the mix of these two drivers, and he's going to just stack in behind Stack and Yak. So here we go. Superman just tucked in behind these guys. 3-way battle rejuvenated for these 3 drivers all of a sudden. Salas here in 12th place, just a little bit off of these guys, and of course Germ still trying to get that poor car sorted out there in pit lane. Super unfortunate for our 13th place driver here tonight. But Indio still in charge here in the race. But you can see THG Sticky Bandit is certainly starting to catch up here. You can see that those fresh tires are really starting to do their work on these drivers on the worn out tires here now. So I'm assuming we're going to see Indio pit this lap, and we're going to see Sticky Bandit go back into the race lead, where he has been for the majority part of this race. But we've seen a very large spread of pit strategies from the majority of these drivers. So THG Sticky Bandit going back into the race lead here on lap 15. Indio in pit lane. You can see them getting those new fresh tires on, and you'll see that gas man start filling that car up. Larry Birch now coming around. He's going to move up a position. He's lost a position to Walters here. Still chasing Walters. My apologies. Here in 3rd place. But now with that pit stop from Indio, that does put Larry Birch in 3rd, and that puts Morin in 4th now. Egon grandfathering himself up into 5th and going around again. So a couple of these drivers really stretching out those medium tires here. Eeyore in 6th place and just sitting in behind Egon here. So I guess, is Eeyore going to try and get around Egon, or is he going to sit in behind? He has fresher tires. No, he is going to go... He is not going to go around yet. I really thought he was going to go around there, and it looks like Egon's actually defending this. So he is going to force Eeyore to the outside coming into the bus stop here. And at some point, I don't know if it's really worth defending when you know you're going to have to make a pit stop. But at the same time, he's definitely slowing that driver down and making that tire wear those tires out a little more than he probably wants to right now. So some good defensive work here from Egon is definitely slowing down that driver on the faster tire compound. You can see him flashing his lights there like, hey, I'm faster than you, get out of the way. But this is a race for position. Does by no means Egon have to get out of this driver's way. That driver on the faster compound tire needs to find a way around Egon here. And again, Egon defending the position. So we are seeing some absolute textbook defending from both of our Pro-Am lobbies here tonight. And you can see Egon is just parking that BRZ right on every apex. He is going to make Eeyore wait until he decides to let him get by here. Some fantastic defensive driving here by Egon. Now you can see Eeyore getting impatient here. He's going to send it coming into the corner. And, oh, he does hold it. I wasn't sure if he was going to go wide there, but you can see Egon here coming into pit lane. And it looks like Smokem Holt in behind is also going to follow him in here. So great defending there by Egon, as he definitely held Eeyore up there for a couple of solid laps on those fresh tires. So Eeyore has some work to do. Superman moved back up into 9th place here. OBR's Raylander coming in 10th. Salas now up into 12th as Indio comes out there in front. And Salas is pitting, which is why we just seen that position change. So a couple of drivers making some pit stops here. Let's get back up front. While these guys are making their rounds of pit stops here, let's go see what's happening at the front end of this pack here. These guys are absolutely flying today in this Pro-Am 1 lobby. Let's catch up with some chat here while these guys are doing their thing. Hello, Freako Apex, fastest lap, Larry. I like how Ghost doesn't call out the driver for parking it and plays it off as an engine failure. Improper head spacing on the cars. These performance engines don't take much to get out of clearance. Hey, facts. So, THG Sticky Bandit back in the lead of the race. We've got Walters here in 2nd place and Larry Birch in 3rd. The top 3 podium drivers, much like our Pro-Am 2 lobby, have opened up a pretty sizable gap on the 4th place driver, who currently is Eeyore, who we just seen get held up by some beautiful defensive driving by Egon there a little earlier. So now we see THG Sticky Bandit coming in for his 2nd stop of the race. Walters has followed him in. Stack and Yak here in 5th place, and we might be seeing a battle here between him and OBR Raylander, so we're just going to stick with this as we see Larry Birch now go back into the race lead here. Alright, Raylander not able to get any gain on through the boot sector there, so we'll have to see if he can gain up by the end of the front, the start-finish line straight away here, coming into the 90 or turn 1. Superman here in 7th place, and he is being pressured by Indio here, I believe an OBR driver as well. And we'll have to see if he's going to stick his nose in there and try to make a move on Superman. He does look like he's going to take a look, but Superman's going to cover him off here. And nothing happening there from our OBR driver, but here we go. We have THG Sticky Bandit coming right out behind these drivers in 6th place. So he's going to have a little bit of traffic here to contend with now on those fresh tires. Not the ideal situation, but he is going to have to navigate this. And you can see these two drivers battling for position up in front of him. This could hold him up a little bit longer as well. So Indio and Superman, 4th and 5th place driver, and THG Sticky Bandit, who is now on has come and made his final stop of the race, now in the middle of this pack here. So are these drivers battling going to cost him here? This is a good opportunity for Walters and Larry Birch to potentially make up some of that time on the race leader, who, well, is now in the mid pack, but you can see him here battling very hard, Indio and Superman. And Sticky Bandit really just has to kind of just sit here and wait for an opportunity to get his nose in there and get in the battle, or let these guys sort it out. And he is going to take a look up the inside here. He's just going to stick his nose in there, trying to psych that driver out a little bit. Ooh, a little bit of contact there from Sticky Bandit and Indio, as Indio went a little early on the brake start. I don't think that Sticky Bandit quite expected that to happen, but it looks like no harm, no foul here between the two drivers, and they continue on. Sticky Bandit putting all kinds of pressure on here as he is chasing down Indio and Superman, and we're just going to stick with this for a couple more corners here, because this is a pretty good developing battle we have here. And oh, we got a driver going into pit lane. That's going to affect the exit of some of these drivers here, and you see Superman getting it forced out a little bit wide there, and he got into the wall. Now, maybe just the reaction to that driver going into pit lane there, just lapse of judgment, maybe lost his concentration for a split second and getting a little bit wide, costing him 2 positions. And THG Sticky Bandit just putting on a showcase here, getting around both these drivers, but Superman follows him through the corner. So Superman now in the chase in the middle of this, sitting in P4, and here we go, taking a look up on the outside of the S's. Can't quite get the speed. Let's see how this sorts out. Oh, and we're going to see Indio take a look on the inside. Contact between the two drivers. Not too bad there for Superman, a little bit wide into the corner. Both drivers make it into the outer loop safe and sound. Apex Superman tucking in behind Indio back there. Woo, side by side through the bus stop is always a little risque, ladies and gentlemen. Very difficult sector to go 2x2 through. Just the slightest amount of contact there. No harm, no foul. Racers continue on here. So, absolute great battling by our Pro M1 lobby here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic stuff we're seeing here. Indio in 4th place. Superman chasing in behind in 5th. Walters now starting to try and catch up to those 3 drivers up front there in 6th, with teammate Morin still in behind. Egon in 8th place, looking very strong here as well. Putting a strategy to work here. Eeyore in 9th place, same thing. Very similar strategy to the driver in front of him here. That driver in front of him definitely making this guy work. Smoke 'em Hold here in 10th place, holding down that top 10 spot here. Stack and Yak in 11th. Salas in 12th, and Germ looking like that car is just not going to make its way back into the racetrack here today. They cannot figure out the mechanical malfunction in that race car. And Larry Birch is coming out here. Let's see where he comes out in comparison to the rest of the drivers. We got OBR Raylander, THG Sticky Bandit, and Indio, and Superman all coming around. We got Walters now coming around as well. Where's Morin? There he goes. You can just hear him whiz by. We're going to stick on with Larry Birch to see where he comes out here. He is going to tuck just in behind Walters. So just ahead of Morin and in behind Walters. So in 6th place, Larry Birch coming out here. Morin now in 7th. Egon in 8th place still. Eeyore in 9th. Smoke 'em Holt in 10th. Stack and Yak in 11th. Salas in 12th. Let's get back up front to see where our battles are. You can see the front pack starting to bunch up here. We're starting to see some good, close, tight racing here for the lead. We're on lap 19 of 25. We have 5 and a little bit laps remaining in this Pro-Am 1 division, ladies and gentlemen. And it is looking to shape up to be an absolutely phenomenal race here at the start-finish line. We are going to see some battles near the end if these drivers cannot lose each other. So OBR Raylander has about 1.5, 2 second gap on THG Sticky Bandit, who has about the same gap, maybe a little more on, I believe, OBR driver Indio in behind, and then Apex Racing's driver Superman in 5th, Walters in 6th, and Larry Birch chasing right here in 6th as well. So our top 6 drivers are all within about 6.5 seconds apart, 7 seconds apart from each other here currently on the racetrack, with only a little over 5 laps remaining. Absolutely great pace. Very good racing from this Pro-Am 1 lobby. Mr. Morin here in 7th. He's kind of alone there. You can see some headlights in the distance, but he knows he has a comfort zone here. He just needs to focus, lock it in, and try to catch up to the driver in front. Egon here coming around. He can see those taillights. That's a little bit of incentive for him to push, but he is on a different strategy than some of these drivers. He does need to take care of those tires. Eeyore here in 9th place, and you can see Smoke 'em Holt starting to gain on him. So we may be seeing a little battle developing for 9th and 10th place here very soon. Stack and Yak in 11th. Got a little bit of distance to catch up on that 10th place driver, and Salas just a little bit further behind. But again, all these drivers still on the lead lap. Germ pitting at the beginning of lap 6 there. So not sure what's happened with that car, but we are going to probably make the call that that car is broken, and we're probably not going to see Germ return at the beginning of the race here. Super unfortunate. Andres Moreno coming in with that thumbs up. Much love, brother. I hope everybody's enjoying the broadcast. OBR Raylander still in the lead. 4 and a bit laps to go. THG Sticky Bandit chasing. Indio in 3rd. Right there. Top 3 drivers about 3 seconds max from 1st to 3rd place here. This is getting very tight. We have Superman chasing here in 4th. Ooh, has a half-second track limit penalty. So as he comes up to toe here, he is at risk of losing position to Walters. It's only a half second, but in these BRZs, a half second definitely slows these cars down. You can see that Superman opting just to take the racing line, and then he goes a little bit wide. Maybe a little bit of the pressure there got to him, where he just got caught watching his rearview mirror, missed his braking point, and it's going to be an easy pass for Walters here around Superman for 5th place. Unfortunate there for Superman. Now under fire from his teammate Larry Birch. So teammates coming up against each other. We got 4 laps remaining around this final corner here. Do we see these guys work together, push this field? Oh, it looks like Superman got a little bit wide. Larry Birch is going to give him plenty of space. You can see the respect between teammates here. He's going to slot in very early, and he's going to get, okay, buddy, grab this draft. Let's go. So both Apex drivers, 5 and 6 here currently on the racetrack, chasing down the pack. Morin here now in 7th place, still trying to catch up. As you can see, a little bit of gap between him and those drivers up front. We got a little bit of group race, pack racing happening here. Egon, half-second track limit penalty, still sitting pretty solid in 8th place. Eeyore in 9th. Eeyore's not in a comfortable position. He has a driver pressing. He does need to be aware that this driver is coming. We have Stackenyak in 11th, Salas in 12th, and again, one driver looking like he's not going to return the rest of this race, so super unfortunate for that driver and that racer and, of course, his team. But hey, race cars break, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a part of the business. OBR Raylander really starting to be put under pressure here by our 2nd place driver, Sticky Bandit. So coming up the toe here, coming through the sole, whatever you want to call this, you can see THG Sticky Bandit is within a half second here. He's going to take a look, just trying to psych that driver out. You can see that we've seen this happen from THG Sticky Bandit a few times here tonight. He just shoves his nose down there. See, he's really just kind of seeing how that driver is going to react to him showing his nose, and by doing that, he's also putting some clean air into the front end of his race car, which will allow him to tuck back in behind the driver he's chasing and make the corner at a proper pace and at the proper braking point. If he were to stay behind that driver coming into the corner, you're going to gain a little bit of overspeed. You're going to have a little bit of dirty air, which is going to take some downforce away from your car, and by doing that, you could actually cause you to go a little bit wide, or even maybe worse, go off the racetrack and crash. So some smart driving we're seeing here from THG Sticky Bandit. So I guess we're going to have to see if he can catch up to OBR's Raylander, and if he does, if Raylander can defend the spot here. And of course, we didn't put the banner back up for everybody, so you guys have kind of seen the tire and the fuel. So we'll talk about that. We'll go through here. THG Sticky Bandit, you can see clearly on a very, very, very better tires than the driver up in front. So it's just a matter of time before we finally see THG Sticky Bandit probably force the issue here. We got Indio here in 3rd place, starting to lose the pace of these guys, and again on tires that are much more worn out than the driver in front he's chasing, and the driver behind is on much better tires as well. So we're probably going to see maybe potentially these drivers catch up to some of these guys. We got Larry Birch here, half-second track limit penalty, super unfortunate for him, as he is... Oh, and we got a driver off the track who was at OBR Raylander making a big mistake coming into the laces section out of the carousel. We see him spinning there. That is going to be some damage for that race car. Oh, absolutely gut-wrenching for a driver who was sitting in the race lead, ladies and gentlemen. So oh my, Indio's going to take that race lead, and we'll have to see what happened there. That was quite interesting. We got Morin here in 6th place. We got Egon in 7th. We've got Eeyore in 8th place. Smoke'em Holt moves up to 9th. Superman here all the way down into 10th place. Stackenyak in 11th, and Salas in 12th. So Germ's still in pit lane. So Indio now in the lead of the race here. So I'm not sure what happened there. Somehow he managed to pass both drivers. So was there an incident on track between Sticky Bandit and Raylander, or did Raylander just make a mistake? Sticky Bandit had to check himself up not to get caught up in that mistake, and we've seen Indio just take advantage of that and jump into the race lead. And oh, absolutely great move there by THG Sticky Bandit on the cutback, coming out of the corner, getting a great launch around that driver, and he is back into P1. So 2 and a bit laps remaining. THG Sticky Bandit has found his way back into the race lead, but he is still under fire here. He has Indio and D. Walters chasing very close behind here in the slipstream. We got him defending, we got him offending. Very tough position that Indio is in here in 2nd place, trying to play offense, and he does have to worry about this driver in 3rd place catching up, but that is not it. You can see just in the distance, Apex Larry Birch is starting to gain on the pack. The battling is giving Larry Birch a chance to get in the fight here. OBR Raylander down into 5th after whatever it was that we seen cause there, and you can see he has some heavy damage on that race car. That is going to be very, very hurtful to the remainder of his race. That may give Morin an opportunity to catch up to him, but he does have a 1-second penalty. He's going to serve to buy Raylander a little bit of time here. Egon in 7th place. Probably happy to see that 1-second penalty. That's going to give him a little bit more distance gain to Morin in front. Eeyore in 9th, Smoke'em Holt in 8th. Smoke'em Holt in 9th. Apex is Superman in 10th. Half-second track limit penalty, unfolding a little bit here for Superman, but still top 10, still having a fantastic race. Stackenyak here in 11th, been showing very solid race here tonight. And Salas here a little bit behind the rest, but still on track, putting in the paces. And of course, poor Germ here, broken race car here tonight. Hopefully they get that fixed for next week's race at Alsace Village. But THG Sticky Bandit on his second final lap here tonight in the lead, about a 1.5 second gap over Walters, who's now moved up into second place. We have Larry Birch, who's now moved up into third place, so battle on between these drivers for podium. Indio has fallen out of this battle in fourth place. Teammate Raylander a little bit behind. Let's stay with the lead here. This is where the fight is, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be sticking with these top three, I think, here for potentially the remainder of this race. We have a battle for all three podium positions developing in front of us. It'd be silly for me not to stick with it. Let's jump on board with Walters here as he's trying to chase THG Sticky Bandit down for a race win, but also defend against Apex Larry Birch and still maintain second place if he can't get the win away from THG Sticky Bandit. So very, very close between these two. Very equally gapped from first to second, second to third. We're talking maybe 2.2 seconds from first to third place here right now. And it's going to come down to which driver has the tire, which driver has the fuel, and which driver has the best lines around the racetrack one more time here to sort this podium out here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a doozy. You can see Walters is gaining on Sticky Bandit here, and Larry Birch is just right there. He hasn't lost anything. He hasn't gained anything. Sticky Bandit got a little bit of a better run coming out of the chase into the final two sweepers here, coming around this final corner. Very similar line. Great run, and you're going to see Sticky Bandit now go immediately defensive. He's going to break the toe. He's going to come back into the racing line, and you're going to see Walters go, "That's fine, mate. You're losing time by swerving across the racetrack. I'm just going to stay right here." And that does allow him to close up the THD Sticky Bandit a little bit. So mind games now being played on our final lap here by our podium racers. So Apex Larry Birch slightly falling off the pace of these two drivers. He's falling out of that slipstream. Does he have a chance to try and get another position? If not, he is in good shape to look like he's going to hold third place down here. But we're going to continue to stick with this battle coming into the bus stop. Big corner there from Sticky Bandit. Is he going to pick a penalty up there? It could be a half-second track limit penalty there. He took a lot of that Apex, and it does look like the stewards are going to be like, no, that was good. So here we go. We're coming into the carousel, and we're going to come out of the carousel into the laces here. We're in the boot section. That means we're at the midway point of this final lap here at Watkins Glen, ladies and gentlemen, and we're having a beauty of a race for podium position, and there's Larry Birch. Larry Birch has just been sitting back waiting to make his move. Does he have enough time? Sticky Bandit trying to keep Walters away, close, not let him get close enough to make a move. Now you see Walters going semi-defensive. He is aware of where Larry Birch is, and Larry's going to stick it out on the outside. He's not going to get it done. He backs it out a little bit. He realizes that wasn't going to be a good place to be. Smart racing by these three drivers here. Sticky Bandit coming around is coming around out of the chase here. We're coming into the second last corner of the race, and it is looking like Sticky Bandit is going to come around here for a race win today unless something absolutely drastic happens here. And here we go. Are we going to see a drag race between second and third place? Larry Birch is on the backside of that driver. Look at these guys. They're all trying to break the toe. And the win's going to go to THG Sticky Bandit, D. Walters, and Apex Larry Birch. Very close together, nose to tail, second and third place. Absolutely great racing from those three drivers right there. Congratulations on those podium finishes. And we see another sponsored driver hit a podium here this week. Morin very close, just shy in fourth place here. Great race by him. Egon on the one stop coming across in fifth. Raylander coming in sixth place. Still very solid finish with the race that we see out of him there, having that mistake. All kinds of damage on that race car. We got Indio out of fuel. He's going to coast across in seventh place. Eeyore in eighth. Smoke 'em Holt is just going to come across at ninth place. Very, very lucky for Indio to hold his position there. Apex is Superman coming around in that top 10. Stack and Yak's going to come around here in 11th place. And that will be followed up by Mr. Salas, who has had a very solid race. Good job to some of the drivers who didn't have the strongest or their best race maybe tonight. But man, they put it all out there anyways. They kept it on the track. They got that very valuable experience and seat time. And super unfortunate for driver Germ here with a DNF on the night, having to pit that car at lap 6 due to some kind of mechanical failure. And really unfortunate here for this driver. And you can see here, he is just broken. That car is broken. And unfortunate, they're going to put it in the truck and they'll take it over to France and they'll get that car sorted and they'll be ready for next week at Alsace Village. So Riley Brinkley's coming in with that thumbs up. How you doing, my guy? But at the end of the day, absolutely amazing finish here by our 3 drivers. So let's move over to our podium screen, shall we? All right, so we do not have a written up statement from our 3rd place driver here tonight and a sponsored represented driver from Apex Racing in Larry Birch. So, I mean, what can we say about Larry Birch? Well, I happen to know this driver fairly well. I've known this driver for a very long time. He's a very quick, consistent driver. And when he figures a car and a track combo out, look out. This is going to be a driver to look out for in this series. This is a stacked Pro-Am 1 lobby. But huge congratulations to Apex Racing's Larry Birch for a super strong 3rd place finish here. And we're again seeing our sponsored drivers here showing dominance in all the divisions across the board, whether it is our Apex sponsored drivers or whether it's our GTR simulator sponsored drivers. So absolutely great stuff by those drivers. And we're going to move into 2nd place here, and we do have a statement from our 2nd place driver, who that is not the right name. And we're going to put up the name on screen here for you guys tonight, but we will let you know who the screen name, of course, that this driver does use as well. So on screen tonight, of course, our 2nd place driver here, D. Walters. Congratulations to him. And of course, he did write up a little something for us to talk to you guys about here tonight. So just give me a moment again to bring up my notes here, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get that brought up for you here right away. Oh, hey, never mind. We do have a write-up from Mr. Larry Birch. It popped in here while we were broadcasting, so our man did send us something. So we were just going to remove our 2nd place finisher here for a second, and we're going to move back down to our P3 driver, Apex Racing's Larry Birch. And first and foremost, he wants to give some shout-outs out. He says huge shout-outs to Apex Racing, GTR Simulators, Flat Out Racing, and of course GT45 Gaming for the always amazing comms. Much love, my guy. Appreciate your support. Huge. I wasn't sure which strategy I was going to go with, but the pole position convinced me I had the pace to catch the guys going for a 1-stop. Crazy fun ending with the top 3 all bunched up at the end. Feel like I could have had the win with 1 more lap. Awesome beginning to the season, and I am absolutely pumped for the rest of the races to come. So a little bit from our 3rd place finisher here in Pro-Am 1 tonight, Larry Birch, and absolutely congratulations to him. And I'm sure that the clubhouse back at the Apex Sim Racing Clubhouse is again on fire. That house has been rocking now for 2 days straight, ladies and gentlemen. Their drivers have been putting on a very good showing very early on here in the season. Moving back to our 2nd place driver, Mr. Walters here, and we do have, of course, a write-up from Mr. Walters as well. Just let me find it up for you here. So this driver, for those of you that know him from another nickname, his name is Progenitor on his GT7 nickname, or his PSN, I believe it is, whichever one we're not on here in the game. And he has a nice little write-up here, so we're going to get into this. He goes, overall, he felt like he had a really good race. He feels really good about the race. He was worried about his pit strategy prior to the green flag, but starting on the mediums and going in on lap 6-7 worked really well for him. He wanted to remain as consistent as possible, which is something he's been trying to work on since the end of last season. He's been active in sim racing for about 8 months now, and the community and friendships he's made in this league have gone a long way to making sure that he keeps coming back every week. He wants to give a shout out to his race team, Flying Fox Racing. They have some great drivers from top to bottom, and they've all helped him become a better driver. And yeah, that sums up a little bit about Progenitor, or D. Walters, from Flying Fox Racing. So huge shout out to him. Massive race from him. The 2-stop strategy does seem to be working here with these BRZs, and we did talk about that earlier in the broadcast as well, very early in the broadcast. So massive love to our drivers here. And then we're going to move over to our winner here, THG Sticky Bandit, and of course we do have a write-up from him as well. So just give me a moment to bring him up on our screen here for you guys, and we'll have a little look-sees at what our winner of Pro-Am 1 division has to say here today. Oops. I hope everybody's still enjoying the races. I see a ton of viewers still hanging out in the chats here, so thank you for everybody for hanging in with us here tonight. I know it has been a lot of racing, but I also know it's very hard to walk away from such great racing action. Of course, to all our returning viewers, welcome in. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying the fast-paced action put on by the remainder of our divisions here in the series that we didn't get the broadcast live last night. To our new viewers, if you're new into the broadcast and you're enjoying the racing, you're enjoying what you're seeing on track, you're enjoying the visuals, the audios, and of course the commentary, do us a favor. If you could hit a like and a share no matter where it is that you're watching from here tonight, it would be awesomely appreciated. It's just a couple free things that you guys can do as viewers to help the league grow. And if you want to continue to see more coming from Flat Out Racing North America, hit that subscribe or follow on the Facebook, turn on all your live notifications, and every time one of these goes live, you'll be notified via YouTube or Facebook, and you won't miss any of the heart-throbbing action we have been seeing here all weekend long and coming into the early weeks. So I'm sweating, ladies and gentlemen. We just had two hugely fantastic Pro-Am lobby races, and we're going to finish off with our Pro Division tonight. But before we get there, of course, we are going to talk about our race winner, THG Sticky Bandit. This driver came in with a two-stop strategy as well, and he sent it tonight, and he gave it everything he had and learned very quickly that there are some guys here that are ready to race very early on in the season. So let's see what our winner had to say here today. He's like, "Hello, Ghost. This is my second season sim racing. I saw my buddy post a racing clip to Facebook, and that got me to reach out to him and find out a little bit more. He hooked me up by getting me involved and onto an academy with THG Racing. I've worked my way through it and graduated to a full-time spot on the team. I practiced very hard. I did lots of testing for this race alongside my teammate THG Corey GT35, who we seen win in the Pro-Am 2 lobby just a little bit earlier here tonight as well. The nerves were high, but I settled into the race quite quickly. I just stuck to my race and managed to pull off the win. Big scare near the end. I got behind a driver that picked up a penalty, and they seemed to try and clear it by slamming on the brakes, in turn collecting both of us into the wall with damage on the front end. I pushed and defended to the finish. Thank you to all the Flat Out Racing League North American staff and crew for having me, and also thank you to Apex Racing and GTR Simulators for being huge sponsors. What a start to season number 2. Thanks to all the pilots in P1. Classy." Absolutely fantastic right up here, sent to us by THG's Sticky Bandit, and THG proving to be the dominant force here very early on in both our Pro-Am lobbies. So again, huge congratulations to our 3 finishers here tonight on the podium in Pro-Am 1 lobby. Now, ladies and gentlemen, much like our AM Division Saturday night, much like the Elite guys last night, these drivers will have 24 hours to submit their incident reports if there's any on the racetrack. From there, the stewards will then assess those reports and come out with a final report probably 24 hours after that point, and then we should see some standings getting released on the Instagram sites over at Flat Out Racing North America, and we will update everyone through the GT45 Gaming socials as well. So wherever it is you guys are hanging out and enjoying your content from, that way there you can make sure you don't miss what is happening and how everything's broken down after round 1. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we still have one more division left, and we're going to finish our night off with the Pro Lobby. Now, this Pro Lobby is a pretty stacked lineup as well, and qualifying in this Pro Division this season, 0.6 of a second from 1st to 16th place. The tightest of all the divisions as far as time splits goes, and with that being said, we've seen how close the rest of these divisions have been racing tonight. I expect it to be no different in the Pro Division here coming up in a few minutes. So what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, much like happened in between these two races, is we are going to throw you over to the starting soon screen, let you guys have about a 2-3 minute break with some good tunes. We'll get the next race set up for everybody, and we'll jump over to the detail screen. We'll bring up the driver's list for you guys. We'll let you guys see who we're going to be seeing racing here tonight. And this division is going to be a very fun one to broadcast because I know a large portion of the pro division. I've broadcasted, watched these guys race and race beside a lot of these drivers for many months now. So it's going to be an interesting race to broadcast. So let's see how the pro division handles themselves here at Flat Out Racing North America. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing, and of course I am the host for the evening and the series, GT45 Gaming, and all our beautiful graphics here, our interactive podium screens, all the fancy stuff we're seeing here on the broadcast, minus our detail screen, who's done by our media guru Yoni, who's in our pro division, done by High Pre Graphics. So huge shout out to High Pre Graphics for making everything look so amazing here week in and week out for us at Flat Out Racing. Alright, we're going to flip you over to the starting soon screen. Good time again to go to the potty, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes time, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, welcome back everybody. We have our pro division race ready to go. But much like we've been doing all night long, we're going to bring up our drivers list here for our pro division, let you guys see who's in the lineup here for this race, and then we'll go through some details, and then we'll kick it off. So there we go. There is that absolutely stacked pro lobby. This is a tight division. Out of all the divisions placed this season, this is the tightest division out of the 5 as far as qualifying times go from top to bottom of the division. So with that being said, let's get through our pro drivers list. We'll catch up on some comments, and then we'll move into, of course, our pro race. Same as the last 2 races, racing medium and racing soft tires are required by these drivers. They are on 3 times fuel and 4 times tire wear. So every lap around the racetrack in there, Jaguar GT3 race cars, who our pro drivers are racing this season, will have a lot to contend with, as Jaguar is a fast car. It uses gas and it likes to hum, so it uses tires. So the pros have their hands full with this car this season. However, it is a beautiful racetrack at the beginning of the season for the Jaguar, so this should be an absolutely fun race. So let's get through the field here. We have Apex Racing's Badass in the field, so another sponsored driver here in the field from Apex Racing. We have Hoodcat 117 in the lineup. We have Ghost 45 in the lineup. We have Magic Man in the lineup. We have Method 13 Jr. in the lineup. We have Doug Barrow and Bar 27 in the lineup. We have ATK Streeter Tom in the lineup. We have Pickle Rick, who we've seen in the race off for the Elite Division spots. He just didn't quite make his way in, so down into the Pro Division here. We have LJ Super Ninja in the lineup. Spec 1, who is not on the track tonight, so he will have a reserve driver come in. Knudsen also not in the lineup, not in the race here tonight, but in the lineup, so we will have 2 reserve drivers coming in here tonight to race. One of those being, I believe it is Sir Churro and I can't remember who the other was, but I believe that there was 2 subs here. We see Serturo on the list, so I could be wrong with that, and if that is the case, I do apologize. We have Yanni, who is again our media guru here at Flat Out Racing North America. He is the one behind all the driver list graphics we are seeing here on the stream. He's also behind the beautiful track map we also see in the bottom right hand part of the screen. So huge shout out to Yanni for all his beautiful work and additions to the stream as well from Flat Out Racing North America. We have Pork on track. We also have Apex Racing's Tattooed Freak, who's the owner of the Apex Racing organization, and of course the one who started the organization quite some time ago. If you guys want to know more about the Apex Sim Racing team, head over to their website, www.apexsimracingteam.ca or com. Which one is it, Tattooed, if you're still in the chat? And go check out what they got. Also, linked to that website, of course, is the Flat Out Racing North America merch. It is available to all the drivers and the fans for a very limited time, so go get it while it's hot, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that being said, same deal for these drivers. Going to be 2 different types of strategies here that are going to play dominant in the race. We're going to see, again, a 1-stop strategy, and we're going to see a potential 2-stop strategy. Now, the 1-stop strategy, much like we've seen in the Elite Division, is probably going to be dominant here. It is .com, so it is www.apexsimracingteam.com, ladies and gentlemen. And all you got to do is just look out for that beautiful Apex Racing logo you see on most of the graphics here throughout the stream. You know you got the right place. Alright, so Watkins Glen for this round for these drivers as well. All the drivers again on the same racetrack. I don't think we need to go all the way through the track, but we will anyways, just in case there's any new viewers in. So, starting at the little line you see at the bottom part of the graphic on the left side, that is the start-finish line. Heading towards the driver's list is the direction of the racetrack. We go into what's called the 90. It is the first corner of the racetrack, a very hard downhill sweeping 90-degree corner. From there, the drivers will head up the track into an uphill section of S's, up a very long back straightaway seen at the top of your graphic there. From there, they go into the very famous bus stop. It is a double chicane, very fast corner, coming into what we call the outer loop, down into the carousel section, which is the straightaway, and the next corner that comes down into the laces. From there, we go around a very hard uphill right-hand corner called the toe, and then, you know, there's not really a name for that. I like to call it the sole. The bottom straight here, and then we go into the heel and up the chase section, which is the final 3 corners coming back to the start finish line. So we did see some 44 laps from our Pro-Am guys. What do we expect to see from our pro drivers for lap times? We should suspect to see anywhere between a 143 to a 144 pace on the soft tires from the really quick guys, and we'll probably be seeing about a 144 mid to a 146 on medium tires for the quick guys. Now, again, we'll have to wait to see if the 1-stop strategy is dominant or the 2-stop strategy here, but much like the elite drivers, we're probably going to see the pro drivers sticking to more of the dominant strategy. But again, some people might have a race that doesn't go properly, may change that strategy up just a little bit. So without anything else needing to be said about our pro division here, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is presented by Flat Out Racing North America. Our sponsors here are GTR Simulators and Apex Sim Racing, or Apex Racing Team, pardon me. Now, GTR Simulators is awarding a sim rig to the champion of each division, and Apex Racing coming in with some pretty sweet swag and various other prizes for the drivers, finishing on the podiums here as well throughout the divisions. It is a massive prize pool here this season, and lots of incentive for these drivers to give it, well, 100%, to put it flat out on this racetrack and give it everything they have. So without further ado, let's flip over to the screens here. Let's get back to the action. We'll get our banner flipped back up. So let's go through our lineup. KCR Nieder, that is the reserve here. That's right, correct. Nieder is one of our reserves here. Now, a little bit of a tough situation here for Nieder, where he was one of the drivers that was in the race-off for Elite. There was a little bit of an on-track incident involved, of course, during that race. The stewards had to make a super tough call, and Nieder opted to become a pro sub instead of going down to the Pro-Am division, due to him believing that his pace is just too quick for those guys, and he wants the Pro-Am division to have some really good competitive racing. Well, look at that. Turns out Mr. Nieder here is in the race and sitting on pole. So KCR Nieder sitting on pole position, That's a freebie for him. Point right off the bat of the race. We have ATK. It's Streeter Tom here, ladies and gentlemen. Not Cheater Tom, but it is Cheater Tom on screen. Qualifying here in second. Both drivers representing the United States. Our third place qualifier here is Doug Barrow, United Kingdom driver. Jay Stewart sitting in fourth place here. Rockefeller Racer, LJ Super Ninja on the list, ladies and gentlemen. United States driver. Apex Racing's Badass sponsored driver here in fifth place, followed by fellow teammate Apex Racing's Tattooed Freak. There we go. Tattooed does have the link in the YouTube channel here, GT45 Gaming, for the apparel if anyone is interested in going to check out what they have over there. So absolutely great stuff there. And we're actually going to pin that comment if I can get to it. It won't let me from here. Okay. All right, so moving down the field, in seventh place is Sir Churro here, and absolutely great racing from all these guys here in practice. I mean, these guys were absolutely cranking practice sessions out throughout the last few weeks, and we've had a lot of chances to catch these guys on the racetrack. And this division is going to be a fun one. We have Rockefeller Racing's Magic Man here qualifying at 8th place. We've got Bar 27 here qualifying in 9th. We have M Taylor here in 10th place, rounding out the top 10 of this field. We have 15 drivers here in the Pro Division on the track here tonight, so almost a full lobby. We have Ricardo Pickles, or Pickle Rick here, some of you know him as, in P11, representing Canada here, of course. We have Pork here representing the United States of America. We have GT45 Gaming here in 13th place. We have Yoni in 14th place, and we have Method 13 Jr. here, rounding out our field for the final driver here in the field. So, let's jump into our pole sitter, and let's get this thing started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? I know I'm ready. Well, let me put it all in the chat. Yeah, YouTube filters. Been waiting for this one. Let's get it, boys, says Doug. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to kick this thing off. Kick them tires, light them fires. It's time to go racing Pro Division style, ladies and gentlemen. Bam, here we go. Let's get this thing going. 25 laps, Watkins Glen, round one. Let's go. On board with KCR Neater as we are starting this race, and Cheater Tom getting a good start. Doug Barrow getting a good start. 3 wide going into T1 from our top 3 drivers, and here we go. And we're going to go 3 wide through corner 1. Doug backs out just a little bit. You can see Jay Stewart there getting the job done. He's going to move up into 3rd place on Doug, and oh my, here we go. Look at these battle. 3 wide, 2 wide, 3 wide. We got the Apex boys going 2 by 2 through the S's here, ladies and gentlemen. Apex Tattooed Freak and Apex Badass here also going 2 by 2 through. Are they going to go 2 by 2 through the bus stop is the next question. Clearly these guys are comfortable racing around each other, their teammates. And look at this. Look at this Pro Division coming in here. 2 wide, 1 wide, 2 wide, 2 wide, 1 wide. Side by side, battling for position, and Badass in 5th place. And Ricardo Pickle's going to absolutely move up a spot here into 6th. A little bit of contact there, getting through the field. Rubbing just racing sometimes here, ladies and gentlemen. Tattooed Freak now in 7th place, chasing here. We got Sir Churro just in behind here. Look at that, showing the love to the sponsors. That big Apex decal on the side of that car. Trying to get inside of Tattooed Freak here, but Tattooed Freak defending off very well in 8th place. Bar 27 here in 9th, just behind these drivers as well. Look at these guys. Look how close this division is already so far. Magic Man here in 10th place. We got Pork in 11th. We've got Yoni here in 11th place now. Just getting ahead of Pork, coming up to the heel here. And he's going to get the job done. We also got Taylor taking a look now as well. Pork, no, defending back. Going to get into 11th. Yoni dropping to 12th. We have Taylor here in 13th. We've got Method 13 Jr. here in 14th. And, ooh, GT45 Gaming is a little off the pace. So something has happened to this driver. And, well, he's got to put it down and start catching up here, chat. We've seen that in almost every race where one driver seemed to have buckled under the pressure a little bit, made that mistake, and has to start catching up from the back. Ghost 45 is that driver in our Pro Division this week. KCR Neater in the lead on to lap 2 as we're coming around this first corner here. Cheater Tom still chasing. Ooh, Doug getting all kinds of wide coming out of turn 1 there. You see him almost spin that car right around. Great recovery there by Doug Barrow. That puts Jay Stewart in 3rd place. Rockefeller Racing's LJ Super Ninja for those of you that know his screen name. Ricardo Pickles here, Pickle Rick as well, ladies and gentlemen, here in 4th place. We have Apex Racing's Badass here in 5th. Doug Barrow in 6th place, independent driver here. Apex Tattooed Freak in 7th. Serturo here in 8th. We got Bar 27 in 9th, another independent driver here as well. We got Pork in 10th place. We have M. Taylor here in 11th. We've got Yanni in 12th place. Rockefeller Racing's Magic Man here in 13th, so something must have happened to Magic Man here in 13th, and down to 13th place. Method 13 Jr. here in 14th, and a little bit off the pace of that pack here, so I'm not sure if this driver has had a problem as well here tonight. And GT45 Gaming there in the back of the pack. Rockefeller Racing Ghost 45, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that know him on his PSN name as well. So KCR Nieder is still in the lead. We're on lap 2. Coming out of the boot section. We're just coming up through the chase here, and we still have top 5 drivers, and we see some battling here between Jay Stewart and Ricardo, and Jay Stewart making a little bit of contact there, and Jay Stewart just getting into the wall, so Badass is going to jump ahead here as well. So Jay Stewart, the big loser there, and just a little bit of contact there between the 2 drivers as Pickle Rick came out of exit there thinking he had the space, and there's still a car beside him there. So unfortunate with those 2 drivers, but hey, race on, and the guys continue on down the road. Apex Tattooed Freak here in 6th place. Serturo here in 7th, and look at how close this racing is. These guys are just solid. Oh, and Doug Barrow going inside of Bar 27 there, doesn't quite get the job done. Bar 27 getting it all kinds of wrong on exit, and you see Serturo there trying to split the D. Or Pork, sorry, trying to split the D, my mistake. So Doug Barrow slotting in ahead. Pork gets ahead of Bar 27, and now Pork is trying to look for a way around Doug Barrow here as we come up through the S's into the bus stop. Doug's going to go defensive. Bar is going to try and follow which driver through. Bar hasn't decided. He's just sitting back here waiting to see who's going to do what. He just settles back in behind Pork, gets through the bus stop safe and sound. Pork here battling hard. Bar 27 going a little bit wide there, trying to get some clean air in the back of that, in the front end of that race car. We got Yanni here in 11th, and Magic Man battling here. Magic Man going to take a look up the inside. No, he's going to tuck back in behind Yanni here, and he's going to look for a solid exit here, and he gets it. Look at the power coming out of the corner here by Magic Man, and what Yanni going to defend here, so forcing Magic Man on the outside of the toe here, but you can make a pass here, and Yanni covering him off here, so Magic Man working here really hard to try and get around that 11th place driver. Yanni, oh, Doug making a mistake, having to serve a penalty there, losing 3 positions, dropping all the way back down to 13th place here now. We have some battling happening here in this Pro Division. We got Method Jr. here in 14th, about 5.5, 6 seconds off the pack, and we see GT45 Gaming can see that driver now, so I'm not sure what's going on with Method, but GT45 Gaming has some fairly heavy damage on his race car here. KCR Nieder still in the lead, but Ricardo Pickles now chasing here in 2nd place, so Pickles has definitely gotten up the racetrack very quickly here. It'll be interesting to see if he has the pace to maintain with our current race leader, Nieder. Apex Badass now up into 3rd place here, starting fifth on the grid, so he's moved up 2 spots and currently sitting in a podium position. But fellow Rockefeller racer LJ Super Ninja here chasing. We've got Apex's Tattooed Freak here now sitting in 5th place, chasing those 2 down as well. He has made his way back around Serturo, so Serturo here in 6th with Pork chasing in 7th. So Pork has managed to find his way and stay in front of Bar 27. Bar 27 has just lost a little bit of the pace on Serturo here in 8th place. Moving down our list, Yanni has moved himself all the way up into 9th place here. Now Magic Man rounding out that top 10, and a half second track limit penalty here for Magic Man. M. Taylor here in 11th place coming around, trying to chase those 2 down. Doug back on the charge here. 12th place, half-second track limit penalty. Really pushing hard here, pushing the limits. We've seen him with a couple penalties here early on in the race. We got Method 13 Jr. here in 13th place, and it seems like he is starting to get under fire from GT45 Gaming here, and something may have happened to Cheater Tom here. You see a 3-second pit limit penalty on him here, and he's in 15th, so did he just make an early pit stop? And we do have GT45 Gaming coming up the toe here. He's on the inside, running up the sole here, coming into the heel. Is he going to get the job done here on Method? And he's going to defend that inside line, make sure there's no cutback move here. And Method's not really going to fight this battle here. GT45 Gaming grabbing a position there, moving himself up into 13th place. So Method Jr. down to 14th, and Cheater Tom all the way down into 15th. And now he's going to have to serve a vicious 3-second penalty here. So not an ideal start for the ATK driver here. battle for position. Ricardo here taking the race lead from Nieder. So Ricardo has moved up the field very, very quickly here early on in the race. Now sitting in the race lead just about at the end of midway through the lap 5. We're just coming into the bus stop here. So Ricardo Pickles showing very good pace early on here in the Pro Division. Him and Nieder having a fantastic little tidy battle here for P1 and P2. Moving down the field is Apex Racing's Badass, and you can see he's about 3.5 seconds from these guys currently, but maybe he's playing a little bit of strategy here, just saving up on those tires a little bit, maybe saving a little bit of fuel, just making sure that he keeps those guys in range. If they make a mistake, he's still in easy striking distance. Jay Stewart here in 4th place, chasing Apex Badass. These two are not unfamiliar with racing each other. These two have had very, very good battles in other leagues and in other races in the past that I have been privileged to broadcast for. So these two are not unfamiliar with each other on the racetrack either. So it should be interesting to see what happens if these two get linked up. Will they work together, or are these two going to battle? They are on, of course, opposing race teams, but you know, friends within the community. So a little bit interesting here. We have Tattooed Freak now starting to chase these two down here in 5th place. He is slowly starting to gain on Jay Stewart here. Sir Churro trying to chase Tattooed Freak down. He has got a red car all up in his business here with Pork. So Pork in 7th place, really starting to put the pressure on this driver and Sir Churro up in front. Bar 27 here, he is in 7th. He's about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds behind those drivers. He's got a nice little space between him and a 9th place driver, Yanni here. So Yanni is throwing down some good consistent laps here, but not able to really gain on bar 27 much. Magic Man here too is just right there behind Yanni. He really hasn't forced an issue with Yanni yet here. He seems to be fairly content with just kind of trying to get into that slipstream and just continue to save fuel. Doug Barrow now up into 11th place, so we did see him have a bit of an issue coming out of the toe section of the racetrack a couple laps ago. Slowly starting to make his way back through the field, now up into 11th place. We have Taylor here in 12th place, who just got passed by Doug Barrow just a little bit ago there, trying to chase him back down. GT45 Gaming here in 13th place, and he is quite a ways away from the pack here currently. That is probably 15 to 20 seconds away. So these three drivers in the back here may need some strategy to help them out get back into the fight of this race. Method also a little off the pace here, and Cheater Tom as well. For sure, we know two of these drivers definitely having an incident on the racetrack, as there is damage on both of those race cars. Hey, we appreciate everybody. We appreciate all the support, everybody. So, Ricardo in the lead. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Nieder took a look inside, coming around into the chase. Not getting that move done. Maybe he just backed out because he realized he made a little bit of contact there. So, Pickle Rick is still going to stay in the lead. Ricardo Pickles on screen, ladies and gentlemen. And Nieder's just going to tuck back in behind. But Badass is slowly starting to tie into the gap between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place here. But with that being said, does come a whole gaggle of cars to chase as well. So Ricardo Pickles still in the lead here on lap 7, but Nieder clearly has the pace here to keep up with him. And Badass having a fantastic turn 1 there in 3rd place. Definitely making up some time on Nieder there as well. So very quickly becoming a 3-way battle for the lead here potentially within the next couple laps here. Moving down the list, it is Jay Stewart here in 4th place, and he is just trying to chase those guys down up in front here as well. Jay Stewart has been away from the game for a little bit, so he is still shaking the rust off a little bit here as well coming into the series. Apex's Tattooed Freak here in 5th place, and he's looking in good form here as always as well, chasing Jay Stewart there about 2 seconds behind Pork, who has now gotten around bar 27 about 3 laps ago. Really kind of starting to open that gap up a little bit. Bar 27 has to start to step on it a little bit to try and close that gap up. And bar 27, with that being said, now seeing some pressure from Sir Churro as well. So Sir Churro looking for P7 here. Let's stick with this for a few turns to see if anything develops between the two drivers here. Again, much like the Elite Division, ladies and gentlemen, when one of these drivers loses a position or has to suffer a track limit penalty or makes a mistake that costs them time on the racetrack, it is very, very hard for these drivers to make that time up on the next driver due to the sheer fact of how close this division is. All these drivers are quite equally paced, and it is just hard to gain time on a driver that is on your pace. So Magic Man has now moved up into 9th place. He is starting to chase Sir Churro down, and he is bringing Doug Barrow and Yanni with him here. So Doug Barrow now up into P10. He's managed to find his way up into another position. Yanni in 11th here. We've got M. Taylor here as well, coming into pit lane. So 2-stop strategy coming out of M. Taylor here, deciding that he's a little bit behind and he just needs to send it. We have GT45 Gaming here. He's coming around that final corner right now. Is he going to gain this position on M. Taylor here? It does appear to be the case. He goes across the start-finish line before he comes out of pit lane. Method Jr. also coming around. Should grab that position here as well, I believe, as he comes around from Mr. Taylor here. We'll just wait to see till he comes around. I believe we hear that car coming out of pit lane. We're going to stick with Method Jr. here just for a minute to see where M. Taylor does come out. Ooh, he's going a little bit wide there on turn 1. And he is going to come out... He may be a lap. No, he is going to come out just ahead of M. Taylor. M. Taylor is coming out there right now. And Cheater Tom just coming around here. So he has actually fixed the damage he had on his race car. So Cheater Tom now has made 2 pit stops here in this race. Things not quite going the way that ATK driver obviously ideally had hoped, especially qualifying in 2nd place here. Not sure what caused him to fall to the back of the pack, as we did miss it. But... I'm sure that if there was an incident or if there's another vehicle involved, of course, it'll be sorted out by the amazing staff here at Flat Out Racing North America. So, Nieder has gotten back into the lead, and Badass has taken 2nd place. So, the big question is, Ricardo now coming into pit lane. We just see Jay Stewart coming around there to take 3rd place, but he has tattooed to the bumper of that pink Jaguar here. So it is battle on now for podium position between the Rockefeller Racer and the Apex Racing driver here. We have Pork here as well in 5th and looking very solid himself here. And he's probably going to be making a stop here pretty soon based off of what I'm seeing, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to show you guys quite yet. We're not at that halfway point through the race here today. Bar 27 now up into 6th place, looking very solid here as well. Sir Churro in 7th. And then we have a gap to the next group of drivers here between Doug Barrow in 8th and Magic Man here in 9th place. Now, Magic Man, another driver who's actually come out of retirement to run here at Flat Out Racing North America and come represent his team here at Rockefeller Racing. So a little bit, again, much like Jay Stewart on track, just needs to get that rust off and get back in form here and see what he's going to have as he progresses through the season as well. Teammate GT45 Gaming, another Rockefeller Racer here. Total of 4 of these guys in the Pro Division this season. We are missing one of their drivers here on the field today in Spec 1. Now found his way into P10 here. So far it's turning out looking like he's going to have to use strategy to try and have some form of a recovery drive here. Going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. Ricardo Pickles now in 11th place chasing that driver. We have M. Taylor here in 12th. We've got Method Jr. here in 13th as well. So after Pickles making a pit stop there, he has come out in between GT45 Gaming and Mr. Taylor. Yanni after his pit stop coming out in 14th, and ATK Cheater Tom here still in 15th, but he is on a much different strategy than the rest of the drivers. Hopefully that allows him to close back up to the field and he can have himself some nice battles here before this race ends as well. We always love seeing all the drivers give it their all here, no matter what their situation is. So Nieder looking very, very strong here. Now, fun fact about this driver, he actually qualified top of Pro Division before he opted to put his spot on the line for the Elite Division race. And again, unfortunately, things didn't quite go his way, losing his pro spot, opting to take a pro sub position over a full-time pro-am position because he felt like that it wouldn't be fair to the pro-am drivers for him to race in that division, and makes his way into the first race of the season here in the pro divisions, and showing why he did qualify first on top of the pro division in qualifying. As you can see, leading the pro division race here currently, was battling with Ricardo Pickles for a while. Now he's got his hands full with Apex Racing's Badass chasing and closing the gap here. So Apex Badass here in second place, and he is about 3/4 of a second behind KCR Nader here. So very quickly closing the gap up to first place. Jay Stewart here in third place with Apex Tattooed Freak right in behind here. So these two drivers not losing touch with each other at all. Pork in fifth place, and you can see Bar 27 and Sir Churro starting to close up on the rear bumper of this driver here now as well. So you can see the pro driver strategy starting to play a factor already, and we've only seen a couple of pit stops so far in this race. Doug Barrow now moved his way all the way back up in 8th place, and you can see him getting a little bit squirrely out of exit there, but handles it really well. Coming around these final couple corners, is he going to pit here? Opting to stay out. Magic Man still in tow in 9th place. Teammate GT45 Gaming, Ghost 45 here in behind. In 10th place, you can see still a fairly large gap between him and that front pack. A lot of work to do for these back drivers here. Pickles starting to catch up here. M. Taylor as well in 12th. Yoni in 13th after his first pit stop. Method Jr. here in 14th. Just not having a good race here today, it seems like. And Cheater Tom here just not having a great day. Really unfortunate here from Cheater Tom, making a mistake there as well. And, you know, we have our good days, we have our bad days. Let me assure you guys, Cheater Tom is very quick driver. Very unlike to see this kind of race came out of this driver today. It's not from a lack of practice or time put in. It's just sometimes you just have a bad day. And that is definitely what we're probably seeing from Streeter Tom. I love you, ATK Streeter Tom, brother. We love you, brother. Just keep going, man, and keep it right and tight. And, you know, just put in the paces, man. Just put in the paces. We got drop rounds. Every driver needs to remember as we're racing throughout the season that there are drop rounds factored in. So if these drivers have a bad day, it's okay. You have 2 drop rounds within the series. So that does give these drivers a little bit of leeway to have a bad day, have a mechanical failure, have a disconnect from a lobby, maybe have a vacation that's planned with the family and you just can't be there that week for the race. You know, it covers real life factors. We do understand here at Flat Out Racing North America that real life does happen, and this is, after all, just a virtual world here. But to many of us, this virtual world is a part of life for us, and it's our family outside of our family in the real world. So much love out there to everybody in the sim racing community, and of course much love out there to all the families behind the scenes of the sim racing community, because they got to give up their time to allow us to hang out with our virtual families here as well and compete on track and broadcast to bring you guys absolutely amazing action live here to your cell phone screens, your laptops, your tablets, your TVs, wherever it is that you guys are watching from here tonight. So Jay Stewart in 3rd place, Tattooed Freak still right there, closing up bit by bit, corner by corner. Not really battling these two. They're playing very smart here early on in the race. They're just keeping the cars nice and safe. We're coming into the bus stop here, and you can just see the pace of these two drivers is very, very equal. Just not losing each other through the corners here. You can see the skill in Tattooed Freak there, using both sides of LJ's race car to get some clean air into the hood of that car before cornering, allowing him to, of course, get the optimal turn in with the Jaguar here. Kilt coming in with that like and that share. We have Stephen Walters coming in with that like as well. Much love, everybody. And you can really see the experience in the pro drivers here. They're racing very smart. You're not seeing them over battling here too much. When the move is made, it's precise, it's quick. Sir Churro here in 5th place. Magic Man now up into 6th place as well. Putting GT45 Gaming into 7th place, but getting some pressure from Ricardo Pickles. And you can see him just letting Ricardo Pickles through there. He realizing he's the slower of the 2 cars here, so he's just allowing that driver to get through, not to cost anybody time. Smart call here by GT45 Gaming as faster driver was coming up in behind him here. He does now have Bar 27 coming in here as well. Let's see if he gives the same courtesy to Bar 27. Now, he doesn't have to give these positions up. He can very easily just defend them all day long and hold these drivers up all day long as well. But you know, each racer's a little bit different, and it's early in the race yet. There's no need to really be over battling these cars, and you can see him just pull out of the way here and let Bar 27 through as well, knowing that that driver has made a stop and is on a fresher compounded tire. Maybe potentially needing to save a little bit more fuel or something like that from that driver. So interesting strategies being shown out by some of our drivers here. Pork here in 10th place, Yoni in 11th. He's got Taylor and Doug now chasing, so these drivers have made some fresh pit stops, and we are at about at the halfway point point of our race here. So Cheater Tom now up into 14th, so he has found a position here. Method Jr. in 15th. So let's drop the banner here. Let's let you guys take a look. Our leader, KCR Neater, opting to start on the medium tire and going for a one-stop strategy. So with the one-stop strategies, ladies and gentlemen, which the majority of the field appears to be on in the Pro Division here, we're going to see stops within the next lap and a half here. Badass here in second place, also starting on the medium tire and looking like he's on that one-stop strategy as well. We have Tattooed Freak here, who has now gotten around Jay Stewart. Track limit penalty mistake or just a beautiful move. Not sure which one, as of course we missed it. That's the way it always seems to go. When there's so much going on the racetrack in these divisions, it is absolutely hard to catch every single thing that happens on these racetracks. But Tattooed Freak now sitting in the podium, also opting to start on the medium and appearing to be on a one-stop strategy. Jay Stewart here in 4th place. He's on the mediums as well, but his medium's not nowhere near in the condition of the drivers in front, and looking like he's also going for a one-stop strategy here. And you can see Tattooed Freak, Badass up ahead, and Jay Stewart all coming into pit lane here now to make their stop. Sir Churro starting on that medium tire. He's going to go around one more time. He's been doing a fantastic job of saving the fuel in that race car. Magic Man coming into pit, also on the mediums. You can see him getting low on fuel there as well. We got Ricardo Pickles there. He has made a pit stop, looking like a two-stop strategy from this driver potentially. Bar 27 here as well, low on fuel on a fresh set of softs, looking like a two-stop strategy from this driver here in 8th place. GT45 Gaming, tires not looking the greatest, damage all over that race car and getting pretty darn low on fuel, but looking like he managed to get that Jaguar to a point where he can get it into a one-stop strategy. Hopefully that works out for these drivers in the back of the pack, as they just need to make up some time. Pork here coming around in 10th place. He's made a stop already. Going to grab that position on GT45 Gaming and Magic Man. Doug Barrow coming around 11th, also on a two-stop strategy. Going to grab that position from those two drivers as well. We got Yanni coming around, going to grab position on those two drivers as well. Again, all these drivers have stopped. We have Taylor here, who's also made a stop. Magic Man now coming out of pit lane. We see GT45 Gaming here just filling up that car right now. Cheater Tom coming around here right now as well with Method. And let's see if Cheater Tom can grab a position here on GT45 Gaming as well when he comes around. We know Magic Man's now come out on the track. And let's see what GT45 Gaming does. Stopping that fuel load at 95% there. So not quite filling the tank up there. And it looks like Tom is going to come out ahead of GT45 Gaming, so grabbing another position here. GT45 Gaming is just coming out of pit lane here. Method now coming around the racetrack here. He's just in the boot section, so I don't think he's going to be able to grab that spot either. So GT45 Gaming managing to grab one position after having a wreck there very early on in the race. So KCR Neater now in pit lane, followed by Sir Churro. Ricardo Pickles coming around, followed by Bar 27. These two drivers are on different strategies, so it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Bar 27 took a look, didn't have the room, tucks back in behind. You can see Bar 27 is all over Ricardo Pickles here. Looking for a way around, just trying to keep some clean air in the front end of that race car. He wants that Jag to turn nice and efficiently here. Tucks back into the slipstream. Are we going to see a move coming into turn 1? This is a battle for the lead between Ricardo Pickles and Bar 27. And Bar 27 closing right up on the rear bumper here. And let's jump on with Pickles here as he is coming up the S's with Bar 27 in tow. So these drivers on the two-stop strategy here have to absolutely launch this car around the racetrack in order really to get this racetrack to go properly. If they don't full send it, the one-stop strategy could prove to be dominant over this two-stop strategy. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out against all the one-stops we're seeing here in the division. And you can see Bar 27 is putting all kinds of pressure on Pickles here. He just can't get around. Pickles is doing a pretty good job at defending these apexes here currently. And you can see him just parking it there again as well. So Bar 27 just sitting in behind, not quite able to make his way around Pickles here as we come into the tow. and just not going to get the job done here. So we're going to keep our eye on this battle. We're going to keep moving through the field. KCR Nieder here in third place chasing, and with Apex Badass not too far behind here in fourth place. So these are the first of the drivers on the one-stop strategy, and then we have a driver on a two-stop in Dugborough. Jay Stewart, LJ Super Ninja from Rockefeller Racing in sixth place on a one-stop strategy. We have M. Taylor here in 7th place as well. Yanni in 8th. We have Sir Churro in 9th. Magic Man in 10th with yet another half-second track limit penalty. So track limit penalties hurting this gentleman here so far tonight, but still holding down top 10. We have Tattooed Freak here in 11th, and really unfortunate here for Tattooed is he's serving a 3-second pit lane infraction here, and that is going to hurt him a little bit here as he comes around the racetrack. GT45 Gaming here now up into P12. We have Method Junior here in 13th. We have Cheater Tom in 14th, and now Pork in 15th. Of course, Pork probably making his second stop of the race here, and under some pressure here by a bunch of the drivers. So getting lapped here by our first and second place driver, Bar 27 and Ricardo Pickles. And oh no, Pork getting into the wall here, coming out of the bus stop. So I'm not sure if that was him just trying to get out of the way of the two leaders, or if he just caught a little too much curb there and just went out into the wall, and he's having a hard time getting this poor car on track here. And there we go, he's got the car back on track. So losing a few positions here as a bunch of the lead lap cars are starting to come up on him here. I believe that is Bar 27 on him now. Nieder in third. We've got Badass in fourth. We've got Doug in fifth. We've got Jay Stewart in sixth. We've got Taylor in seventh. We've got Yanni here in eighth. We've got Sir Churro in 9th place, and then Pork kind of falls right in between the 9th and 10th place driver here. So not sure what's happened to Pork here, but definitely making a big mistake coming out of the bus stop there, and that definitely cost him some time on the racetrack. Magic Man here in 10th place. Tattooed Freak in 11th chasing. GT45 Gaming here in 12th. Cheater Tom chasing in 13th. Method in 14th. And again, we've seen their Pork having some complication in 15th place here. So back to the race lead. And three-way battle for the lead is Bar 27 going really wide there. Nieder taking advantage, now jumping into second place. Ricardo Pickles still managing to hold first place there, but Nieder taking advantage of a mistake by our third place driver. Going to jump up into P2 here. So fantastic stuff. We got Corey Hawkins coming in with that thumbs up as well. Much love. Hope you're doing fantastic, my dude. We're just going to refresh our chats here. They haven't updated in a while. KCR Nieder here sitting in second place, starting to close in on Ricardo a little bit here. Bar 27 now in third place and having to find himself watching out for Apex Racing's Badass here now as well. So Bar 27 is under fire here currently by these one-stop drivers. Doug Barrow here in 5th place, driving himself like nobody's business up the road, trying to catch up to Ricardo, who, what has happened here? We have a driver who has spun out on the racetrack. We got Bar 27 in the lead. We've got Badass now here in second place. We've got Nieder in third. We've got Ricardo here in fourth. Was there an incident between these drivers battling up front here, or did Pickles just make a bit of a mistake? I'm unsure, as we didn't catch it live on the stream, but really unfortunate there as Pickles now dropping back into fourth place. Doug into fifth. That is giving Doug a chance to really gain some time, but you see Doug getting a really deep exit there, having to gather that car back up. Jay Stewart here in sixth, chasing Doug down. Sir Churro here in seventh, and he's got a couple of guys starting to close in with Yanni and Magic Man here in behind in 8th and 9th place. Tattooed Freak has now moved himself up into 10th place. GT45 Gaming finding himself up into 11th now. Taylor here in 12th. We've got Cheater Tom in 13th. Method Junior in 14th. And Pork in 15th. So we do have a couple drivers making a pit stop there. We have Ricardo Pickles making a stop. Probably go fix that damage after that incident. And we do have Yoni also making a pit stop. Yoni on a 2-stop strategy, if I'm not mistaken. And my chats are not updating, so we're just going to jump back over to YouTube. Why do you think I stayed behind you for so long? We got the Rockefeller boys and the Apex boys having a fun little chat there in the YouTube channel. Love to see the community hanging out together while we're watching these races. Bar 27 getting it wrong coming into the tow section here. And Badass trying to take advantage here. So battle for battle for the lead here between Bar 27 and Badass. Bar managing to hold Badass off for the time being, but Badass is right there on his rear bumper. Let's jump on board with Bar 27 here as Badass is chasing him down. Look at the time that Badass gained on Bar 27 under braking right there. So much so he actually had to almost check himself up so he didn't push Bar 27 going into the corner. And Badass is going to be looking for the cutback here. He's got on the power. He just wasn't able to quite get his nose in there. So are we going to see a move from Apex Racing's Badass here coming at the end of the start-finish line? But Bar 27 still has to make a stop, and here it is. Bar 27 is going to make that stop, and you've seen Badass really get close to Bar 27 to try and maximize his exit into the final corner there. And P1 now belonging to Apex Racing's Badass. So again, another sponsored driver here showing some raciness here in the series in week 1. KCR Neater right behind Badass here chasing, and definitely cannot discount this driver, but we do see a little bit of damage on the front of Neater's car here. That I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for sure. Let's go, boys. Pickles and Yoni. Flying Fox Racing says Morin for Red Bull Racer GT, ladies and gentlemen. The brainchild behind Flat Out Racing North America. Again, ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. I am your host for the evening, GT45 Gaming, and graphics provided by High Pre. So much love to everybody involved through the series here. A lot of hard work has gone in to get week 1 underway. And if I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, we just seen 5 amazing divisions of racing out of Flat Out Racing North America. All I can say is, wow, as a broadcaster, working with several different leagues throughout different platform, different race styles, different categories of racing, different setups, different leagues. This has been the absolute best week 1 racing I've seen out of all the divisions in one league as a whole in my time as a broadcaster. So huge shout out to the staff here at Flat Out Racing North America. Huge shout out to all the drivers participating in the series. Absolute smashing week 1 here, and we're not done with this pro race yet. We still got 5 laps to go. Sir Churro in 4th place. Magic Man now up into 5th, and now he is starting to move. He is starting to show what he can do coming out of retirement here. Doug Barrow in 6th place, and Bar 27 is 7th. Funny fact, these two are good friends outside of the racetrack, both here independent drivers, very familiar with racing each other. These two drivers are very, very similarly paced, so do not be surprised to see Bar 27 and Doug Barrow racing and battling each other all season long. Ricardo Pickles here in 8th place, having a little bit of either a mistake or an incident on the racetrack in the lead there, and now all the way down to 8th, having to pit to get some damage fixed, but he also taking a new set of tires and some fuel here, completing the 2-stop strategy for him here today. So it'll be interesting to see where he finds his way back up into. Yanni here in 9th place, trying to chase Pickles down. We got GT45 Gaming in 10th, trying to chase Yanni down. We have M. Taylor in behind them, trying to chase those two drivers down. He's on a 2-stop strategy. He should have a tire advantage when he finally does catch up to those two drivers. Apex Tattooed Freak here in 12th. Not sure what's happened to Tattooed Freak here. He was quite a bit ahead of these drivers and now has fallen back. Maybe an incident on the racetrack, maybe a mistake. We're not sure. Cheater Tom here in 13th. Not having the best race, but he has found a couple of positions back. Pork here in 14th and Method Jr. here in 15th. Struggling a little bit today here in the Jaguar. Just can't quite seem to get it right. Maybe having a little bit of a... Maybe the plugs aren't spaced right in this engine. Maybe a fuel filter is partially plugged. Maybe that fuel pump's not pumping enough fuel into that car. It just seems like that one particular Jaguar today here is just not quite up to par of the rest of the cars. So maybe a little bit of a mechanical issue in that car, and it is creating a little bit of an issue for that driver here tonight. But still on track, is still giving it everything that Jaguar's got here tonight. KCR Neater is starting to lose the pace on Apex Racing's Badass here. Still in 2nd place, still looking very solid ahead of Jay Stewart here in 3rd place. So we have an Apex Racing driver in first. We've got KCR driver here in second. And we have a Rockefeller Racing driver here rounding out our podium in the Pro Division. Sir Churro here sitting in fourth place. Rockefeller Racing's Magic Man sitting in fifth place. Little side note about this driver, he is team captain for Team Rockefeller here on a GT7 platform. So definitely wanting to put in a good showing here for the team today. Doug Barrow in sixth, chasing Rockefeller Racing Magic Man, and friend and competitor Bar 27 very close behind here, chasing. We have Ricardo Pickles in 8th place, was leading this race for a portion of it. Yanni in 9th place. You see GT45 Gaming just coming around that final corner in behind here. Tires are starting to look a little rough for this driver. M. Taylor here in 11th place, starting to close up on GT45 Gaming. When this driver catches GT45 Gaming, it really shouldn't be too much of a matter of getting around that driver, as he is on quite a bit of nicer compounded tires here. He has about 80% rubber compared to GT45's Gaming 40% rubber left on that one-stop set of tires. Tattooed Freak here also on a fresh set of rubber, so he should be able to make up some time on GT45 Gaming and Yoni up in front. The question is, does he have enough laps to do it in? Cheater Tom here in 13th, trying to make up some more position. Pork in 14th, not sure what's happening. He's had a bit of a rough race here tonight too, and Method Jr. again, just something not quite right with that Jaguar here today. Seems like he's just been a little off the pace here today again. We can sit here and speculate on the a huge amount of mechanical issues that could be causing that car to be a little slow here today. Let's just hope that crew can get it into the truck, get it fixed out for next week at Alsace Village for this driver, and he can go out and just have some fun with the boys. KCR Nieder in second, still chasing Apex Racing's Badass, but again, KCR Nieder does have some front aero and some front left suspension damage, so that may be costing him some time in the chase for the win here today. Jay Stewart in third place, and he is in a battle of tire wear here with still 3 and a bit laps remaining. We have Sir Churro in fourth place, and he has got about 50% tire wear. You know what, let's just drop the banner for you guys. This is not a live broadcast, so we don't need to worry about what's going on here. We just want to keep it looking the same throughout the series, whether it's live or not. We want to give it that appearance. But we know that the drivers aren't going to use this information to their advantage at this point, as this race was ran at 7:30 Eastern. 8:30 Eastern time last night. So Sir Churro here in fourth place. We'll let you guys take a look at all the situations. This is a one-stop driver. He's on the soft tire. You can see he's got a fair amount of fuel in the car still. Should be plenty of fuel to get around 3 more times here. We have KCR Nieder in second place. His tire is a little bit better than the leader, but again, suffering from a little bit of damage on the front end of this race car. That is going to hurt this car a little bit. Jay Stewart here in third place. He's got the fuel, but you can see he has absolutely destroyed that front left and front right tire. He is putting these front tires to their absolute limits here. Sir Churro in fourth place. You can see how significantly better his tires are compared to the driver in front, and he's got a significantly larger amount of fuel, so he does have the room to push this car extra to try and catch Stewart up in front. Magic Man here in fifth place, and he's got a little bit of damage here now and some tire wear, so something has happened on track here causing a little bit of an incident, and Doug Burrow and Bar 27 closing in on Magic Man here. And we're going to stick with this as Bar looks like he's going to take a look, and he is going to take a look. So Doug Barrow going into turn 1, and Magic Man not really opting to fight that too much. He's just going to let him take that position, not to cost either one of these two drivers time. He's going to tuck in and try to respond here. Bar 27 now chasing in 7th place. We've got Ricardo Pickles here in 8th. We've got Yanni still in 9th place. Taylor has made his way around GT45 Gaming here for 10th place. So there is his tires, and look at the tires on Taylor's car. GT45 Gaming, much like his teammate up further ahead up the road there, not much front left tire left on this racer's car, and a little bit of right left. But again, this driver has been chasing the race all race long, so he's most certainly probably pushing this car to everything it has. Tattooed Freak here in 12th place, trying to chase down GT45 Gaming up ahead. Again, quite a bit more tire than the driver up the front. This is going to start to make a difference in the final 2 laps of this race for some of these drivers that are on the one stop compared to the drivers who have new rubber. We have Cheater Tom here in 13th as well, and you see him on that racing soft tire. Pork in 14th place here as well, and Method Jr. here in the final spot. You see him just starting to put a little bit of pressure on Cheater Tom, making a mistake there, having to back off so he doesn't lose the corner, and he's going to have to try and catch back up to Cheater Tom there up in front. The ATK driver not having his best race here in round 1. That's all right. Still on track, still putting the time in. Badass. Apex Racing's badass in the lead, and we haven't actually done it on board with our race leader yet here, so I guess we better do it now. We're going to jump on board with Apex Racing's badass for the remainder of this lap here, and then we're going to watch the final lap battles here as the race goes on. So coming up in through the tow section here is Apex Racing's badass. You see him just downshift to second quickly to get that to bite the apex, and right back up into third. Stability, doesn't spin the tires on exit. A little bit of tire conservation from our leader here. Coming into the corner here, you just see him real gentle. He's just going to kind of rotate it, coast it, and easy and nice and gentle on the throttle coming out. Here at that board, he's just going to downshift it for rotation, kind of let it coast through, and then back on the power on the apex. This driver has put out a 7-second lead on second place Neater here currently, so he doesn't need to force the issue here. And as he comes around the last corner here, just a little downshift for rotation, get the RPM back up in that Jaguar and into 4th gear and up the road here. So final lap here, ladies and gentlemen, for our race leader, Apex Racing's badass. Neater just coming around the final corner. Got that a little bit wrong. Seen him get a little bit squirrely there. He's on his final lap of the race. Sir Churro now has gotten around Jay Stewart here in 3rd place. He is on the better tire here, so we're not surprised to see that happen. He's on his final lap. Jay Stewart coming around here in 4th place on his final lap. Still managing to keep that car in 4th place on some really dead tire. Doug Barrow in 5th place. Half-second track limit penalty for him next time around. Bar 27 is chasing here in 6th, so he has found his way around Magic Man too. Magic Man battling here with some damage, and now his front left side tire is also gone as well in that Jaguar. So Team Rockefeller, that Jaguar proving to be very difficult on these drivers here for tire wear this week. Ricardo Pickles in 8th place chasing. Taylor in 9th, trying to catch up to Pickles here. 1 lap left for these two drivers. Yanni in 10th place, and he has lost GT45 Gaming at this point. GT45 Gaming just coming around that final corner, just hitting his final lap here right now as well. And he's driving on 2 dead front tires as well. Apex Tattooed Freak, and you can see he has quite a bit of rubber, and you can see he has gained some time on GT45 Gaming here. Does he have enough to catch him before the end of this lap? Cheater Tom here in 13th, just trying to hold off those back 2 drivers. His front tire is screaming for help here as well. Pork here in 14th. His front left not looking the greatest as well either, and he has just been lapped by Magic Man there. So Method Jr., our final driver here in the field, still all 15, but Apex Racing's badass coming around for the race win here. So another sponsored driver coming in huge this week with a race win for Apex Racing. KCR's Neater is going to come around in 2nd place. He is in as a sub here tonight. Sir Churro is going to finish out our podium positions here in 3rd place. So congratulations to these 3 drivers for a fantastic race here in the Pro Division. Jay Stewart's going to come around here in 4th place and looking pretty happy with that finish. As you can see him flashing his headlights there coming across that start-finish line. Doug Barrow now coming around here for a 5th place finish. Really great recovery from Doug Barrow, and Bar 27 right there behind in 6th place. Not surprised to see that. Rockefeller Racing's Magic Man here being followed by Pork is going to finish in 7th place. Pork coming around there in 14th behind. Ricardo Pickles in 8th place. He's coming around, and he has got Taylor all up in his business. Does Taylor have enough to make the run? Not quite. Pickles is going to stay in 8th, and Taylor is going to finish in 9th. Very close between those 2 drivers. Yoni going to come around here in 10th place. Very close to running out of fuel there. GT45 Gaming coming around here in the final corner. You can hear Tattooed Freak just coming in behind, not quite going to get it done. GT45 Gaming's just going to edge him out there in 11th. Tattooed Freak going to take 12th place here. Cheater Tom just coming around the last couple corners here right now as well. ATK driver not having, again, the best race like some of the drivers here in the back part of the field, but every one of these drivers is just going to come through here and finish their day out, refocus on to Alsace Village here for next week. Long season, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen. Congratulations, Cheater Tom, P13, and our final finisher here, Method Jr. in 15th place. We started with 15 drivers. We ended with 15 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. We can't ask for a whole lot more than that. Clearly, you did see some of these drivers in this race here tonight not having their best races, struggling, facing a little adversity. They still put it out there all night long and put it on there for the fans. They kept those cars on the tracks for their respective teams, for the leagues, and of course for themselves, because every single second you spend in the seat, ladies and gentlemen, and behind that wheel, even if you're having an absolute just disaster of a race, is still experience gained, and you can take that experience into each and every week moving forward. Now, you've already gone through wrecking your own race or maybe being wrecked out of the race, whatever the case may be, ladies and gentlemen, you've been through it now. It's out of your system. You've got 9 rounds to focus on climbing the standings now. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, all these drivers have 2 drop rounds as well through all the divisions. So the worst 2 rounds from each of these drivers will be taken out of the equation at the end of the season, and then that will sort out our final standings, and we will crown our champions. A little bit different for the Pro-Am drivers. They're going to have to race off to see who's going to win the prize pool from GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team, of course, and we'll explain that more for you guys next week when we get into next week's races. So that was our Pro Lobby here, and as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the beautiful Watkins Glen in the United States of America, New York State. This racetrack, a little fun fact about this racetrack, it is actually built on the island. This track basically is the island. The whole park is dedicated to Watkins Glen and a little, you know, some event centers and stuff like that around the island as well. So it's a beautiful racetrack. It's been around for a very long time. And when you talk to people from North America and you ask them what one of their favorite racetracks is in the United States, very, very often do you hear Watkins Glen come into the conversation. So an absolutely great track to start our season off with here at Flat Out Racing North America. We're going to flip you over to our podium screen and we're going to go through our process one more time here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you everybody who's still hanging tough in here. It's getting very late for some of us, especially on the East Coast, and for those of us that are watching from overseas, even later, appreciate your support. So our third place driver tonight, ladies and gentlemen, was Sir Churro, and he did send us a little write-up about his race here and how he felt things went for him tonight. So our P3 finisher here for our Pro Division in round 1 is Sir Churro. So just bear with me for one moment while I bring up my notes one more time to talk about what this driver had to say about his race last night. Now, this is going to be kind of a continuing process for a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. And just one second here. I've got 9 million messages. I gotta find my notes. One second. Oh, that was Progenitor is our... That was our other driver. Where are our 2... there it is. All right. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, as it just took me a little while to find the footnotes because I've gotten about 35 messages since then on Discord, so I had to filter through quite a few messages to find my driver's notes here. So we are with Sir Churro here. He just had a very small amount to say here today. Sir Churro, yeah, of course, our third place finisher here in Pro Division. He felt the race went really well for him. He was committed to a one stop. He let some guys pass so he could get to the lap 14 mark that he needed on the mediums in order to run full out on the softs. And shout out to the Knights. So that is where the Sir in front of Sir Churro comes from. He is part of a group called the Knights. and showing a very solid race finish here in third place. He was a very patient driver, like he said in his little write-up here. He did let some guys go by. We did see some guys get by him early on in the race, but at the end of the day, he kept it close. He kept it nice and clean, right and tight, and coming out with a very solid third place finish here to start his season off in the Pro Division. This is not going to be an easy division to make up ground on. I don't think we're going to see the same drivers repeating week after week after week. I think that this division is so tightly packed that we're going to see these podium names changing quite a bit from one week to the next. And I mean, obviously, that's the way we love to see it. So a huge shout out to Sir Churro and of course his team, the Knights, and congratulations on a great podium finish here and a great start to your race season. So we're going to move up the run here into our second place driver, who was of course KCR Nieder, and we talked a little bit about this driver's story. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride for Nieder here to start the season off. Leading up to our season, of course, coming into Flat Out Racing North America. But he got himself into race one and definitely showed why he belongs in the Pro Division here. So huge shout out to reserve driver KCR Nieder coming in as a sub, filling in for one of our missing drivers here today. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it typically is a 21 points for a second place finish here in the race, and of course the bonus point for fastest lap and pole position. So we are going to see his points be cut in half come standings release, and that is the deal here at Flat Out Racing North America. The subs are only earning half points per race, and then of course if a driver does need to leave the series for any reason or something comes up and they just have to retire from the series, and these reserve drivers will come in to a full-time position and will then from that point start to gain full-time points. So there is an opportunity for a substitute driver to come into a series if they can get in early enough and start gaining up the standings and potentially win a championship here. So it's quite interesting, and we are going to get a points board made up for next week, so we can break down this way that we are running the point system here at Flat Out Racing North America. So just bear with us. We will most certainly try to have that ready for everybody for next week, so of course you guys can see and understand how we're breaking down all the points. We are going to move to our second place finisher, like I said, KCR Nieder, and of course Nieder did send us a little bit about his race here as well. So let's just jump into this here, ladies and gentlemen. His overall feeling of the race is he had a blast. And I mean, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing here about this is, yes, we are competing. We're competing for something real. We're competing for prizes. But at the end of the day, you still need to have fun. If you're having fun, it's going to just keep you coming back no matter where it is that you're sitting in the standings week in and week out. Having fun is the most important thing, and that is why we do this. I mean, besides putting on a great show for the fans, having some good spirited warm-hearted competition on the racetrack, pushing each other to our limits, we're here to have fun just like everybody else. So very well said there by Nieder. He goes, I just wish I didn't get hit on lap 17. It did slow me down to slower than my medium tire pace, but with the damage it is to be expected, and I wasn't able quite to find a pace to catch first place, but overall I was excited to sit pole from qualifying and hold first until my pit stop. So massive shout out to, again, Nieder, and it really was a good race by him there. And again, if he didn't have the damage, maybe that could have been a different race up front. But racing is racing, and that is why, again, the drivers have 24 hours to report their incidents. So basically 24 hours from race finish, these guys have to get any reports in. It is up to all the drivers, of course, to save the replay of the race and provide their own footage of the incident. The stewards are not going to be able to properly assess any incidents on track without the actual drivers involved footage. Just because of the way Gran Turismo 7 is, this is a fail-safe for our officials and staff here in the series. Decisions will be made based off of each driver's own replay's point of view. This way, if there could be a potential lag issue or anything to factor into a steward's decision, then the driver's point of view from their own replays will 100% verify and determine what actually happened, whether it was a driver error or a game error, and it's really unfortunate when it plays into a game error because that starts to put it into the realm of a racing incident. But unfortunately, as racers and league operators and runners, these guys are aware of the minor issues that we are still working through here with Gran Turismo 7 as they continue to progress and make the game better and better. And of course, as drivers, we do understand that this is a part of the game and this could happen. So huge shout out to start with to all 5 divisions, but huge shout out to Serturo for 3rd and KCR Nier for 2nd. Now, our winner here tonight, who is probably thinking that he's going to get special treatment and get a live interview because I know he's in a chat right now, didn't send us a write-up. So you got about 3 seconds, my man, if you want me to say anything on your behalf here. But we are still going to bring this gentleman's name up in some gold lettering because he raced his butt off here and bringing home another top finish for sponsor Apex Racing. And I mean, what can we say? This driver just showed incredible patience. He made the moves when he needed to make his moves and got the job done. So Apex is badass here, coming in the top spot here in round 1 for the Pro Division. And we're looking for a write-up. I'm not seeing a write-up. I'm going to go check the Apex chat. Hold on. And I just kid by the special treatment. I'm just giving my boys a hard time here. I love the Apex Racing guys. Of course, GT45 Gaming, a proud partner with the Apex Racing guys as well. So we're quite deeply involved with what goes on over there in their communities. And, well, you know, we pick on each other all the time. So for viewers out there that might be a little bit confused, it's just a little bit of friendly banter. You know, we've had the privilege to speak with Badass several times over the last few months when it comes to leagues and podiums and just doing interviews. And, you know, the man always has nothing but nice things to say to the drivers on the racetrack around him and, of course, the league. So, I mean, I could take a pretty good stab at this. He's going to thank all the drivers for the great racing. He's pretty happy that he got to start the season with the win. It's definitely what he wanted. He is aiming for that rig. He is racing for it. He's determined. He wants to get it. And he definitely got a great start here early on in the season. Big 25 points for Apex Racing's Badass to start the season off with. Now, this is even a little bit sweeter for him because reserve driver finishing in 2nd place is only going to pick up half points. So right off the bat in round 1 here in season 2, Apex Racing's Badass is going to jump out to a sizable lead going into round 2 immediately in the standings. So I can guarantee you that he will thank Flat Out Racing North America. He is definitely gonna he would say thank you to GTR Simulators, the sponsors, and of course Apex Racing, the sponsors. A little bit biased, but I mean, he is a part of the team. He would still say thank you to his team for being a massive part of the league here. He would say thank you to GT45 Gaming for the amazing commentary. That's what he always says. And he would definitely thank High Pre-Ray for the graphics as well. So, man, huge win for Apex. Apex had a very strong showing all weekend long. They had a win in the AM division. They took a P3 in the Pro-Am 1 lobby. They take a P1 in the Pro division, and they take a 3rd place with their Apex Paymay driver in the Elite division. So 4 podium finishes for Apex Racing's drivers. GTR Simulators coming in huge as well, with THG Sticky Bandit coming home, bringing in that Pro-Am 1 win. The Pro-Am 2 win, and that is a GTR Simulated sponsored driver as well, ladies and gentlemen. So 5 sponsored drivers this weekend finding their way onto the podiums, representing these amazing sponsors here in the series. So it's been some fantastic racing. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I am your host tonight, GT45 Gaming. I really hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast. Thank you, everybody who hung out for a little over 3 hours to go over all 3 races here with us tonight. For those of you that are watching after the broadcast, because obviously it is quite late when we started this broadcast, many of you may watch this later at your own availability. Thank you, of course, for returning in and watching, and I hope you enjoyed the other 3 lobbies just as much as we did here at GT45 Gaming and Flat Out Racing North America. The series is presented by Flat Out Racing North America, again sponsored by GTR Simulators and Apex Racing Team. Graphics provided by Hypre Graphics, and I am your host, GT45 Gaming. So, absolutely amazing racing we've seen through all 5 divisions, from AM to Pro Am 2, Pro Am 1 to Pro, all the way to Elite. That was some pretty clean, tidy racing. No red flags thrown down in all 5 divisions in the first round of a new season. All of this chalking up to shake down an absolutely epic season as this continues to progress. These drivers are going to continue to get more comfortable around each other. They're going to start to figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to use that to start to try and figure out ways to get around those drivers and battle with those drivers. As this series progresses through the season, these battles are going to heat up. The races are going to get tighter and tighter, and I honestly can't say don't think that there really is any given favorite in any division right now, even the Elite division, that we could sit here and say is a definite favorite to win, because these divisions are just so close and so tight. I think every race can be anybody's win. It's really going to come down to who gets the best qualifying, who can put down the best race pace, and who can get the cleanest race around the racetrack. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in here tonight, and I hope we all enjoyed the broadcast. Please leave any feedback in the comment sections, no matter what channel it is that you're viewing from. We're still having a few technical difficulties getting this to go to all 4 channels we would like it to go. I will get in behind the scenes, of course, with the sponsors and the league officials, and we will absolutely get this sorted out for next weekend. Shaken down here on GT45 Gaming for the rest of the week is I am just waiting for some updated graphics from GTCQ TV. Once we get that, we will be broadcasting those 2 races from their Elite division that ran last Friday as well. So once we've got that for you, we will light that up and bring that live to you here at GT45 Gaming, and then we'll be back again later in the week. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments over on Facebook and YouTube. The support that the viewers, the racers, the families, everybody is showing Flat Out Racing North America and the pages this week in the last 3 days has been mind-blowing, and I appreciate all the support, continued and new. Welcome to all the new followers on Facebook. Welcome to all our new subscribers on YouTube, and stay tuned for more action from Flat Out Racing North America. Round 2 is at Alsace Village next week, and those will start with the AM division again next Saturday here at all of the Flat Out Racing North America YouTube channels, live in your house every week, moving until the end of the season. We've finally crowned those champions. Thank you very much, everybody. Most importantly, stay winning. Have a fantastic week. I love every single one of you, and I hope you all have an absolute splendid Tuesday. Take care, be safe, drive fast.